my party. We're just getting started. A life is a dream or a nightmare.
Just keep fighting, each and every game because it's any given Sunday.
Welcome to Mustard Cat Sports, folks. We're doing a little bit of a challenge on a Saturday. I got two special guests, and they decided, I guess, to go to the same house and, record together. So you can enjoy them on the same screen. The one and only Michael Barnes and Ryan. Welcome back.
Hey, yeah, thanks for having us. I was driving home today and I saw a guy on the side of the road with his thumb up and he was asking for a ride. I said, I'll give you a ride, but you have to do this podcast with me. And he agreed. So here he is.
Yeah. It's good to be back. Thanks for having me with my Wild flag. We lost to the Flames 4-5 that game. So
yeah.
But still got something for free. I mean, tickets aren't free.
Well, we're going to start off with some questions because got to get you guys warmed up, get you all hot and heavy. So what are you drinking there, Michael?
Oh, sorry. You weren't supposed to see that.
He's drinking 7-Up.
7-Up. Okay.
Well, I'm making a drink.
Okay, that wasn't the question, but we're going to start off with something easy. Get the brain warmed up. What is your guys' favorite color? And this question is from Michael's podcast. So
I was going to say, Barnes has already answered this, so I'll go first. The answer is blue. That's the correct answer for everyone. It should be everyone's favorite color.
Is there a perfect shade of blue? Like the blue behind me is a lighter blue, navy blue?
See?
He's got multiple now.
Yeah, I was going to expand and say blue just has so many great variations. Baby blue, navy blue, royal blue. They're all great blues. The walls in my basement here have a tint of blue to them. We just love blue. Blue's the best.
Hey, I used to have a Dodge Dart that was blue. I love that color. Hated the Dodge Dart.
The Blue Jackets. They won.
Michael, I forgot what your favorite color was.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, blue used to be, but then, purple. It turned into purple because I just love the Vikings, like the Ravens, wear it every Sunday, any given Sunday, every Sunday, So yeah, that's what would you say shade blue my eyes are?
Baby blue.
Baby, there we go. Okay. So, but yeah, blue is definitely secondary color for me.
Okay. So your blue shaded into purple. I see.
Yeah. As I grew up, it turned into purple. So yeah, that like the flag behind you, that purple, that's amazing. It's I don't know what that green's doing there. What's your favorite color?
My favorite color? Either yellow or red. One of those two. Depends on the yellow, depends on the red. But
I just have to say those are terrible answers.
Yeah, I mean yellow. Come on, do better.
Hey, what about the teal on the Sharks? Is that an acceptable blue?
Yes.
Yeah,
I like that.
Okay. I like that.
That's probably my favorite blue.
That's the best part of the Sharks too.
Yeah. It's the only good part of the Sharks.
They just traded and got some first round, third round picks. So
yeah, one day they'll be good.
Someday.
Let's move on to the second one. The second one is, if you could play a professional sport and be great at it, what sport would it be? And then what position, if there's position?
All right. I'll go first. We'll go every other.
Okay.
You kind of got to think about longevity of your life.
Hey, hold on.
When I'm 40,
if you say golf, like every other person,
I'm not saying golf.
Okay.
I'm not saying golf.
Okay.
I suck at golf. I think golf's boring. I just play it because these guys play.
This is saying that you can choose. You can be a professional.
No, I understand the question.
Okay.
You just interrupted my answer. That's all. So, anyways, any sport you're pretty much done at 40. I guess golf is the exception. You can play till you're like 70. Look at Donald Trump. But anyways, I would say baseball.
Okay.
If you're really good at baseball, you get long contracts. Look at A-Rod's contract. Look at Juan Soto. He just signed a huge contract with the Mets. It's what, till he's 42 is the contract goes out till he's getting 50 mil, 20 mil. Something like that. He's getting ridiculous amount of money per year. So baseball, I would say, because you can still get injured, but it's going to be less head injuries unless baseball's going right at your head, but way less than football. Basketball, I mean, there's a lot of running, spraining ankles, those types of things, ACLs. And it's just baseball. I'd rather just do that. I know it's taxing, 162 games plus the playoffs, but if you're a pitcher, you don't have to go out there. You know what? A reliever. I would like to be a closer. That is the best job you can have. You just got to go out there. If you're a starter, every 4 days. Come to think of it, I don't know how. Like if I'm right-handed and I'm throwing for 15 years straight, is my left arm gonna be like? Or they have professional trainers. It'd probably work that.
Yeah,
but you would think it'd be lopsided.
You're overthinking this way too much.
Yeah. Well, anyways, it'd be baseball. So
okay, and then you're going to be the relief pitcher.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And I had a similar line of thinking in terms of like my body long terms, because growing up, Randy Moss was always like the guy that I wanted to be. I wanted to be a receiver in the NFL. That was my dream. But as I get older, I realized that's probably not the best for your body. It would still be fun. There's a lot of stardom there, but I went with NBA 3-point specialist. That would be my specific spot on the court. Because basketball was always the sport I was probably the best at growing up, and I love shooting threes. There's a lot of glory there. You got the crowd around you. Like I know golf has a crowd, but it's not as insane like the noise, because they have to be quiet until you hit. So I feed up the crowd, hit some threes, and do that for 15 years, Ray Allen style, and just be that guy.
Hey, well, both those answers are 10 times better than everyone else's, because everyone says golf, and it's like,
I guess I haven't.
It's a lame answer, okay? Okay, you're protecting your body, but it's a lame answer.
I agree.
What did you say?
What did I say?
Yeah, I guess I don't know. I don't remember those questions. Maybe
I didn't really ask them to myself ever. So unless you asked it back to me,
you don't have an answer.
You're being so polite. Him the questions back.
Yeah, usually people don't ask me the questions back. So
I'm just curious.
So. Well, I'd be a NASCAR driver easily.
Oh no, geez.
Obviously.
Veer to the left.
Obviously. And if you die, you die. Whatever. At least I was doing something that I loved. So
you gotta die one day.
Yeah. So this next one, what's your favorite piece of sports memorabilia that you own or that you would like to own? Or do you hate sports memorabilia and you're just like, I don't care?
Yeah, growing up, I collected a lot of football cards, jersey cards, autograph cards, all that. But my favorite ones are the ones that I got signed myself. Like when I was growing up, we would go to Vikings training camp basically every single year in like the early 2000s when I was, 10 to 15 years old. And so I have a lot of signed things like Adrian Peterson, Randy Moss, Dante Culpepper, Chris Carter. And those are the things that I cherish most. I don't really collect that stuff anymore right now. It might be something in my future because I still enjoy the collecting process and like having stuff. And I've got signed jerseys on my wall, Adam Thielen and Marcus Sherrills that I got signed myself. And that's the kind of stuff that I appreciate the most, is the personal ones. So that's my answer.
Yeah, I would say that I would agree with you. Those are the better ones. Obviously, it's always nice when they're worth a shit ton, but then it's like, well, then you have to sell it to make money. Otherwise, it's basically a paperweight. So
yeah, that's exactly the thinking.
Yeah. So, what about you, Michael? Huh?
Well, I'm wearing it right now. Chiefs Super Bowl jersey, right there. That's my favorite.
That's your answer.
Don't worry.
Well, I mean, if you want to like a legit answer,
we'll cut that. We'll cut that jersey out and blur it out. We don't need that on here.
What? Yeah, I can take off the Wild now. I think they're losing. But I mean, my brother gave me I don't have a lot of signed jerseys,
Mhm.
or cards or hats or anything like that. But I do have signed baseball from Doug Mankiewicz. My brother gave it to me. So that's probably the one that I would say.
Do you have anything that you
Besides
want
this jersey.
to?
This Chinese knockoff.
From China. China.
Oh
A
God.
lot of people are talking about it. A lot of people.
We're gonna do the Trump voice all night.
A lot of people.
If you want to do that the whole time, be my guest. Um, let's get into some football specifics. Obviously, there was no games this week, and this isn't even on the docket. But I was thinking about it today, and I was like, we might as well chit chat about it. Um, the Pro Bowl and the I don't know what you want to call it. Is it the Pro Bowl?
The skills competition
Skills
stuff.
competition that was going on like Thursday, Friday, Saturday. It was a joke. I don't know if you guys watched it. I didn't watch it, but I saw a bunch of
I didn't
clips of
watch it.
it.
I didn't know it. I thought it went on. I guess. Yeah.
Yeah,
I knew there was something on Sunday, but yeah, I missed it all.
Yeah. I
yeah.
did.
There was a bunch of clips that I saw. I didn't watch it, the actual
I think they
thing.
rerun it on Sunday though, anyways, before the game. Like
It
on.
might, but it was just a bunch of weird, like players putting on giant hands and trying to catch footballs. A lot of weird stuff, man. Um,
Oh, like a circus.
yeah, that's literally what. Um, I would rather them just either get an award and have an award ceremony for them, or do an actual like skills competition like they did in the early 2000s, or just don't do anything because it's kind of a waste and a joke in my mind. I don't know. They
Well,
don't.
the
So
one thing I did read about or hear about was the QB skills competition, and that one actually sounds legit. Like they're trying to hit targets down the field, trying to get the most points, the most
yeah,
touchdowns.
the one that moves.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
one's fun. That was
yeah,
the same one as back in the day, I think.
yeah.
But what I heard was Sam Darnold started out super well, and then he choked at the end, and all I could think of was, wow, that's exactly what he did for the
Ah,
Vikings. Cool.
he's really good at that.
And Goff, I think Goff won it.
Well, Goff had some MVP numbers this year, so you might.
And I would have counted 3 picks in the playoffs.
Well,
Out.
it's because they weren't wearing the black and blue helmets. Okay,
Yeah.
they're
They
good.
didn't look good, so they didn't
No,
play good.
there you go.
Best
I'll,
helmets in the league.
I'll die on that hill. Um, so you guys weren't on last week, but what were your quick thoughts on those two games and what this Super Bowl is going to be, basically? Because we had the Eagles winning and the Chiefs winning, and now we have a rematch of what, 2 years ago?
Yeah.
Um,
Well, I mean,
how about you, Chiefs fan?
as expected, we came out with the victory. Another close games. We're just good at winning them. That's it. Hands down. Best quarterback in the league, best coach in the league. And but if Joe Burrow was there, might have an issue.
Yeah,
So thank God it was Josh Allen.
He's the only AFC quarterback that can beat Mahomes, I swear.
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. They called it Burrowhead for a while, but it's Mahomes' house. Jabronis. But I thought it was as expected. I mean, the Commanders, they had the worst defense out of the 4 teams left. But they had the most electric quarterback.
Mhm.
Uh, yeah, but unfortunately the Eagles won, as expected though. And of course the Chiefs won as expected. Although I did actually think the Bills had uh one of the better teams just overall to actually beat the Chiefs this year.
Hmm.
I really did think it was a tough decision for me to pick the Chiefs because of that, because I was like, the Bills are good. Like overall, their team, their run game is just James Cook is just so good, and Josh Allen, of course, and just random tight ends and wide receivers as weapons. It doesn't matter. He's like Tom Brady throwing to whoever he wants. So I don't. just didn't work out for him. But it's always next year. It's time for a three-peat. Okay, it's time for a three-peat. That's like a
Yeah,
dynasty.
I really think if the game was in Buffalo, it might have ended up different. And if the refs weren't, spotting the ball in odd places or overruling challenges that should have been called incomplete, for example.
Yeah.
But yeah, this was the very worst outcome. I didn't want the Chiefs Eagles. I wanted any other combination of the four teams. We saw this game 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Although Saquon Barkley is the kind of the X factor difference. So I'm hoping he'll make the game interesting. Maybe he'll break it open for the Eagles. I'd hate rooting for the Eagles because their fans suck, but I am rooting for Saquon Barkley because I think it would be pretty cool for him to go from the shitty Giants for how many years to the Eagles and winning a Super Bowl, hopefully getting MVP. That would be pretty sweet.
Yeah. No, I don't disagree with you. I do disagree with Michael that the Chiefs were just handed that win basically, like on a platter. But
They don't get handed anything.
The NFL plays favorites, and it's been there this whole season. And anyone that can't see it is blind. And if you need my glasses, I will gladly give them to you. You probably won't help you because you probably have different, vision. But it's
Well,
there. So
Lucas, let me tell you something. All right, first off, NFL it can be scripted at times, but
oh, whoa,
they
whoa,
don't
whoa,
play
hold on,
favorites.
hold on,
They
hold
don't
on.
play favorites. They play, oh, who did I bet on or who's on my fantasy team? So you get different reps every week. You can't just say they play favorites from one team because these guys are selfish. They care about their lives, not the Chiefs. So they just lucked out and got the right refs, maybe that had Mahomes or someone else. I mean, Mahomes sucked as a fantasy quarterback this year, so I don't really get the point in favorites. And also, I have LASIK, so I'm not blind. So thank you. I don't need your glasses.
But yeah, I was going to add they're definitely playing favorites. I think Taylor Swift might have something to do with that. The NFL wants as many eyes on these games as possible.
Yeah.
So having her at the Super Bowl again is nothing but a benefit to them. So maybe they didn't like force the Chiefs to win. But they definitely made some calls to help them, and it seems like that happens quite a bit this season. So hopefully that's done after this year. I don't know. Maybe when Travis Kelce retires, they'll quit putting Mahomes in the Super Bowl every single year.
Yeah, no, they're not depicting the game as in like blatantly, excuse me, making these calls. It's just every time there's these close calls or these catches that should not be a catch because the ball's touching the ground. Or maybe we should go back and get the replacement refs when they called that Packers Seattle touchdown, what interception or touchdown? I don't even know. But they're making terrible calls that I feel like if you took a poll from the fan base or just a lump sum of people, more than three-fourths of them are going to say there's being favoritism here. Because if you change up who's in that spot, it'll change. And if you take the Chiefs out and put a different team in there, they will spot the ball correctly or better or more accurate or and
Yep.
and it's gross. It's gross.
Well, it's been like that for different teams
It
throughout
has,
different
but
years. You can't just say it's for the Chiefs.
not as egregious. And
I mean, you're saying that now because you're in the moment. Just like everyone hated Tom Brady in the moment. He was a cheater. Belichick's a cheater. In the moment, everyone hated them the most. And now look at it. Now we're like, oh yeah, he was the greatest of all time. And there's an Apple TV Dynasty show about it. Like, yeah, in 10 years from now, we'll look back and they'll make a documentary about this three-peat. And we'll be like, man, we witnessed greatness. But we're just jealous of it. I'm not gonna lie.
I actually went back and I looked, and you can look this up. Even though the Chiefs or the Patriots were dominant from basically 2001 all the way till what was it, 2018 when he left? I think it was. Even though they were dominant and basically always in the Super Bowl, it was like Patriots. Then they like took a break. They were good. They had some issues. Then Patriots, and they were just always good through this lump
Mhm.
sum. And then you look back in these last 6 years, more or less right when Tom Brady retired, then it was like the NFL shifted, like, we can't let someone organically do this. And then Taylor Swift comes in the picture, and there's just too many weird things that are happening that are like making it feel 100% like there is favoritism and they're trying to push this. And it's like, no, don't do that. Because I will say this, I did hate Tom Brady and I hated the Patriots, but I hated them in their first Super Bowl because everyone was cheering for them because of the Patriots. And that's because 9/11 happened. Like, I want the Patriots to win. I was like, no, I want Kurt Warner to win. I love the Rams. And then ever since then, I disliked the Patriots until their almost perfect season. Then I was like, ooh, people really hate this guy. And I gravitate towards people for some reason that people hate. But I have not gravitated towards Patrick Mahomes. So that should tell you something that he's
You
not
will after the
great.
three-peat.
He's not
You will
great.
after the three-peat.
So
No, Mahomes hasn't been nearly as impressive as Brady was when they were doing this. Like the last 2 years, it's all been defense and short passes and just boring games. Like they just grind it out over and over.
Years.
Yep.
The only time he threw down the field was Randy Moss. I mean, Tom Brady is literally, he goes after different wide receivers, dinking and dunking. You think Wes Welker and Edelman are big deep threats all the time? No.
Yeah, but Tom Brady wasn't getting random calls out of nowhere.
yeah,
I distinctly remember there not being this this controversy about calls all the time. There was the Tuck rule one. That was the biggest one. That was
back
like
in
the one time where
2022, like 2022, I think it was the Raiders and Tom Brady.
You mean 2002?
Yeah. Oh, sorry, 2002.
Yeah. That was like the biggest one, but that wasn't even when they were a dynasty yet. That was at the
No.
beginning of. I don't know. It just feels like Mahomes is getting more favoritism than Brady ever did, even if Brady was dinking and dunking a little bit. But I don't know. The Patriots teams were always at least somewhat exciting, and it doesn't seem like the Chiefs are this year, in my opinion.
Well, the Patriots were exciting when Moss was there. Chiefs were exciting when Tyreek Hill was there. Let's be honest.
Hey,
like that's
maybe,
when they were the best of version of themselves.
sounds like Tyreek Hill is on his way out from Miami, so maybe he'll come back.
That would be fun. You'll start liking Mahomes after that.
I don't know if Xavier Worthy can't catch a long touchdown. I don't know who's going to anymore on this team. They just don't. They don't have it in them. They just changed their whole strategy.
Yeah. Well, everyone. All right. I guess I shouldn't say everyone, but there are a good chunk of people out there that are saying they're gonna not watch the Super Bowl. I personally will be watching the Super Bowl just because I need to know what's going on. Um, and I'm agreeing with you, Ryan. I'm hoping Saquon Barkley can have like a 5 touchdown, game, just blow him out of the water. He had 3 touchdowns last week, so or yeah, the week before or whatever. So, yeah. So hopefully, yeah, I'm gonna watch the game.
I think I speak for both of us that we're going to be watching the game, but it's probably from more of a betting standpoint or like a curiosity. We always do this pick'em game at my house for the Super Bowl.
Mhm.
Like the coin toss, the national anthem length, the penalties, all that stuff. But yeah, it's the least exciting Super Bowl that I can remember from like the spread is only 1.5. So like it's going to be a close game, but I'm just not excited for it. It's just because of the.
Yeah.
I think it would be, before you answer your question here, Michael, I think it would be a more exciting game if there wasn't the stigma of the refs playing favoritism, because then it would be. But I just don't see them helping the Eagles at all. Like at all.
I would hope on the biggest stage when there's, I don't even 20 million, 30 million people, however many people watch Super Bowl, I would hope that the refs aren't egregious, but we'll see. It would be a bad look for the NFL if they handed it to them.
Yeah, I don't think
the Chiefs have to win fair and square.
Yeah, I don't think they would be that bad, the refs. Also, I mean it's another Eagles Kansas City Super Bowl, just like the 49er Kansas City Super Bowl.
Yeah.
We already know what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Kansas City's gonna win in a close game. It is what it is. After this year, I think two different teams will be in it. I don't think the 49ers or Eagles or Kansas City will be in the Super Bowl next year. And you can
Well,
quote me on
they already have the logo out, and the logos have been pretty good about predicting the team colors. So it's all
yeah.
blue. So your favorite
It's all
color?
blue.
Oh, it's all blue. So Bill's Detroit.
Bills Detroit. There we go. See, I told you there's always next year, Josh Allen. Yeah,
So
I could see it.
or is that Chargers? I don't know. Chargers are blue.
Uh, I mean, I hope, but man, they really screwed the pooch. Oh my God. What do you throw 4 or 5 picks, Herbert? God,
The Texans are
I
blue.
like that guy at one point in time.
The Texans are blue.
Oh yeah.
Hey, and the Giants.
Oh,
Oh,
Giants, Texans. Let's go.
Giants. I could see the Texans because they actually made some good quarterbacks look silly this year. So they have a decent defense. And CJ Stroud, I mean, he's good. So
good as in his first season, yes.
okay. He had a sophomore slump. It happens. It happens. We just need to get over it. I know you're not a big Texans guy,
No, I
and
like the
that's
Texans. Just CJ Stroud rubs me the wrong way,
oh, because of the Aaron Rodgers cut. Oh, jeez. Man, you should watch the Aaron Rodgers Netflix series.
I did.
Or we did.
I
The
did.
second episode, he just trashes his family. Like, what kind of person does that? That's the type of character you're following, bud. Okay. So do I have a problem with CJ Stroud making comments about Aaron Rodgers? Absolutely not.
Yeah, someone that lives with their parents, you shouldn't idolize someone that tracks
Yeah.
their parents.
Yeah. How would you like it if he trashed if he trashed Lisa, huh? Huh? Yeah, we'll like it very much.
Um, I I don't know what happens in Aaron Rodgers' personal life. So only they know the reasons why they trash each other. So, but if it's a quarterback trashing another quarterback, I'm down for that. So
Okay.
yeah.
Stop being a hater.
Well, no, then I'm gonna hate on that quarterback. But um, yeah. What's the next thing? Oh, I guess this is a pretty easy one.
Oh yeah.
Not easy, but so I can already tell you who Michael's gonna, be cheering for. That the Chiefs. So, Michael,
Yep.
is it safe to say that you want the Chiefs to win and you think the Chiefs are gonna win?
Okay, I think the Chiefs will win in a
Okay.
close game.
Okay.
I do want them to win just so I can be part of history. Tom Brady never did a three-peat. And then I can say, but Patrick Mahomes did. Also, if they don't win for
Okay.
some miracle reason, I'm okay with Jalen Hurts getting a Super Bowl ring. I know you guys keep talking Saquon up. He left his team, the Giants, to go to a rival team and win a Super Bowl with him. That guy's a dick. I don't care. What did you guys say? I want to see Saquon. He betrayed them. Where's the loyalty, bro? You could have gone to 30 other different teams, but you went to the Eagles. You could have gone to the Chiefs. I'm not saying it's disrespectful.
Okay, the Giants had an opportunity to pay Saquon. They didn't want to. So what's the best revenge? Go to the rival, go win a Super Bowl. I think it's an awesome move. It's like, if Brett Favre were to come to the Vikings and almost win a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
That would have been awesome.
But there was a year in between. He went to the Jets.
Well, he had to jump around because the Packers didn't want him to go that way. So he had to weasel his way.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Is Aaron Rodgers doing the same thing? I don't know.
I hope not.
Please make it happen.
I mean, it would be fun to watch.
He statistically, if you look at his stats versus Mahomes' stats, are basically identical, and Aaron Rodgers beat out a good majority of what he did. The only thing that he was worse on was completion percentage, but it wasn't terrible. It was like 63 or 64, which is terrible for Aaron Rodgers, but in the world of the NFL, he was still top 10 in like all of his stats. So
Yeah, in Aaron Rodgers' defense, they didn't have a very good offensive line, and they had a really crappy coaching staff. So if you were to come to the Vikings, I think all of his numbers would go up, and he would
Yeah.
have at least a Darnold-like season, if not better. He would
And
finish better.
they have JJ there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's coming off an Achilles, so obviously he was rusty in the beginning of the
Oh,
year.
yeah.
And I'm not one to defend Aaron Rodgers, but he is a good quarterback. He came on stronger the last like 5 games. So obviously I always say wait until year 2 of someone coming off an injury.
Mhm.
Like I don't want that person who has an Achilles or a torn ACL on my fantasy football team the next year. I want him the year after that one.
That's true.
Because that's
That's
when
true.
they go off and I'm just saying.
Well, and then there's also the X factor. If he does go to Minnesota, does his good buddy Devonta Adams come with him?
That'd be a stacked wide receiving core.
That would be
and
insane.
and if that happens, um, you might see a brand new Vikings fan. So
Aaron Jones is already there.
oh yeah, he
I mean,
is.
we got to sign him, but
You're already a Vikings fan. I can
and
see
you're
it.
already a Vikings fan, so
That's don't worry about that.
Well, yeah. Back
But
to the
yeah,
regular
yeah.
question.
What's yours, Ryan?
I I can't say the Chiefs aren't going to win with any confidence. So I'm going to say that I'm predicting them to win by 3. But like I said earlier, Saquon Barkley getting a Super Bowl would be more satisfying to me. So that's who I want to win.
Yeah, yeah. I'm more in line with Ryan on this. I'm pretty confident that the Chiefs will win, but I'm watching to see the Eagles win, not because their fan base, Saquon Barkley, Jalen Hurts getting a Super Bowl, um, and I don't hate, and I would really love if the Eagles came out with their bright green jerseys for the Super Bowl. They probably won't, but but either way, I like the green ones. And you know what?
Yeah, I don't think.
Terrell Owens was on that team. I love Terrell Owens. Guy was a
Thank you.
showman. Guy's a showman. So
That's right to my heart.
yeah.
that's
Oh yeah, I don't think they're allowed to wear alternate jerseys, unfortunately, but that would be
Yeah.
awesome if they
Yeah.
could come out in those old school greens.
I know.
Well, if the Eagles do win, I just hope it's on a push tush. That would be classic.
Better than the Bills' push tush. Oh my god.
Oh, jeez.
Jeez.
And they think everyone can do it.
Yeah. No.
That was rough.
Jalen Hurts, I mean, he's a different beast.
He is. He is. He knows where the hole is, where he needs to go. He's a strong man. He's just he's beefcake.
Those legs though.
Guy can squat.
Well, before we get into our next segment, do you guys have any other thoughts or comments on what the Super Bowl might pertain? I don't even know who's playing halftime. Do you guys even know? I didn't even look that up.
Kendrick Lamar.
Kendrick Lamar. Okay.
Yeah, I'm excited for that. He's gonna
Yeah.
play Not Like Us and put Drake on blast in front of the entire world. It's gonna be hilarious.
I mean, I like Drake, but he started to come out a little creepy here. So
And kind of a bitch.
Yeah.
He keeps trying to sue Kendrick Lamar for the song. It's like
yeah. Kendrick's way better lyricist.
Mhm.
Drake just has like good party beats, whatever, good party songs.
I gotcha.
So I mean, Kendrick's gonna destroy him in any rap battle. So
Do you guys have any predictions on what sponsorship commercial will be like top dog? Like, do you think a beer commercial will steal it away? A food commercial like Doritos? Or do you think it's just going to be lackluster and just because it's kind of been lackluster. There's been a couple, but nothing's really jumped out in the last few years, at least in my mind.
Well, I heard the "What's Up" commercials are making a comeback this year, so I'm excited for that. That's the one I'm looking forward to. But yeah, Doritos usually has a good one.
Yeah.
Trying to think.
Geico.
Yes,
Insurance
companies sometimes, beer sometimes. Yeah, but yeah, it's been overall kind of meh.
Ford, built tough. Don't they usually have like?
Yeah, nothing important.
Yeah.
Did you guys see the Shane Gillis and Post Malone Bud Light commercial? Oh,
No.
I'll have to
Wait.
It's
Oh, I
been
think
it's
I
been
did.
running around the last couple of days now. It's Peyton Manning's in it. It's pretty entertaining.
Oh,
So
that sounds good.
yeah,
Oh, I saw the JJ Watt one with Shane
that,
Gillis.
that's not the one I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know, but I know I saw one. I didn't know he did another
Yeah,
commercial with Post Malone too.
yeah,
Jeez,
yeah. It's a
that
Bud
guy's
Light
on.
commercial. They're trying to
Oh,
rebrand
man.
themselves again.
Yeah,
So,
but
so
I think the sleeper
yeah,
is going to be
Miller Lite.
Flow.
Oh, oh,
You should sponsor this next segment by Flow. Maybe you'll get a sponsorship. Go ahead, take it out.
Jesus.
maybe I will pop one in. Just pop one in for old time's sake. I'm doing the whatchamacallit, Here, pull it out.
Oh God, here it goes.
I'm doing the green apple one. So
Yeah,
if you guys can't see, that
there
is
we
a
go.
Flow package. Oh yeah.
What do they do for you,
It's
Lucas?
sponsored. They're not really giving us money, but go out and have yourself a couple of these bad boys. Get up in the morning, pop a couple in your mouth for the boys, whatever, and you know, live your life for God's sake.
Little mushroom activity
Little
and all.
Yeah.
mushroom excitement. Um, they're a little expensive, but fuck it.
Hey, to get that mind going.
Yeah, gotta get the mind pumping.
Yeah, it's
So
better. You know how much you have to pay for college? Might as well just pay for some flows.
yeah, and we're back. All right, boys. Let's talk. I just spilled everywhere. Let's talk about some NFL quarterbacks, wide receivers, and organizations. So I don't know how much research you guys went into this, and it can be just your opinion. So if you put your favorites up there, that's your opinion. It might be a stupid opinion, but it's an opinion. Um, so we're gonna rank the top 5 all-time quarterbacks, and we'll start at 5 and go down to 4, 3, 2, 1, and we'll just rotate through. Do you want to start, one of you guys, or do you want me to start? Well, I also did this. So besides mine that I did, I went on and for top 5 quarterbacks, I found an NFL .com document, but it was from 19 or not 19. Well, these flow things are really fucking with my brain.
Can't talk.
Can't talk. From 2019, they put out a top 5, or they put out a top 20, but I just took the top 5 of all-time quarterbacks. So I'll start with what they said for the NFL. I'll do mine, and then Ryan, you want to do go, and then Barnes,
Sure.
and we'll just
Yep.
keep rotating. So for number 5 for all-time quarterbacks for the NFL, they said Ottawa Graham, who yeah, so that was their top 5 or
Yeah, I was
5th.
just say Otto Graham, right? Is that
Otto
Tennessee,
Graham,
right?
Browns, I think.
yeah, Browns.
Yeah.
And then for my 5th one, I went with Drew Brees all time. So yeah,
Okay.
the only reason why I picked Drew Brees there, he's a good quarterback. He has a Super Bowl. Probably could have had more, depending on if he went somewhere else. Maybe if he would have stayed in Charger land, who knows? Chargers have sucked. That was probably their biggest mistake, getting rid of that guy just because of a shoulder surgery bull crap. Even though he was really, really short compared to most quarterbacks, he can throw the ball. He's very good. He's definitely, if he's not in top 5, he's definitely a top 10 quarterback all time. So
Yeah, I'll agree with top 10. I didn't put him in my top 5 just because I don't like him as a person. But yeah, he did get a Super Bowl. He defied the odds with his height, and he put up crazy stats. He was putting up 4,500 to 5,000 yards consistently, and him and Sean Payton were a force to be reckoned with. So yeah, I don't hate it. My 5 though, hot take, Eli Manning. Just for the clutch factor. The fact that he was able to beat Tom Brady in the Super Bowl twice, and one of them was the undefeated team that was blowing everybody up by 30 plus. And the fact that he could just chuck it up and somebody would catch it. The guy had something special to him. He wasn't a good regular season quarterback, but when it came to the playoffs, he did it when it was important. He won 2 Super Bowls, which is more than Drew Brees.
Yeah.
And yeah, he's the only one to beat Tom Brady twice in the Super Bowl. So I got to give it to him, number 5.
Michael, before you start yours, I thoroughly enjoy Eli Manning. Not when he's beating the Packers, but I thoroughly enjoy watching the guy play because he's like a newborn calf, just waddling around, scoring touchdowns. And I almost put him on there, but I kind of weighted mine with like Super Bowls, their actual performance, and then stats wise. So I definitely think he's in the top 10, probably lower top 10 for me, but I appreciate the hell out of Eli because if he got into the playoffs, that was a guy that was like, oh, fuck, we're fucked almost because
Yeah.
he knew how to do it in the
Yeah,
playoffs.
there was at least, 5 guys that statistically I was like, these guys were better, but I just appreciated Eli and all those crazy moments in the playoffs and the Super Bowl. So I had to put him in there.
Yeah.
No, that's
I put Culpepper in. He's number 5.
hilarious.
He's a funny dude too.
I did not put Eli in my top 5. Would I put him at 10? Yes, because he beat Tom Brady in the Super Bowl. He's a massive troll. You got to respect it. I did actually. I put Drew Brees, Lucas. Wow,
Hey!
we agreed on something. I did put factor in Super Bowls, and I did factor in stats. You want to look at Dan Marino and Drew Brees. Drew Brees outstatted him, and he got a Super Bowl. So that's why Dan Marino would be like number 6 or 7 for me. You know what I mean? Of all time. So, and I get they were in a passing era, but Drew Brees has better stats. Doesn't lie.
Yeah.
And he got a Super Bowl. So,
Yeah.
and the best thing to do was to go to New Orleans and win a Super Bowl with Sean Payton. I mean, I hate Sean Payton, but he's a solid coach. So,
yeah, no, I agree with you there. If he probably would have stayed in Charger land, he was probably doomed.
yeah.
That's why Herbie's doomed because he won't do anything down there, or up there, or over there, or whatever you want to call it. And yeah, a lot of my picks. I don't know about your guys' picks. Definitely are newer quarterbacks, at least newer age quarterbacks from the early '90s all the way up. Just because one, I got to see most of those ones, and two, that was prime time basically. Like, not saying players in the back like this next one that the NFL picked for their number 4 was Johnny Unitas. Not that Johnny Unitas wasn't good. I just never got to see him play, and I think there's better quarterbacks out there. Like, put them both in their prime. I don't think Johnny Unitas does.
How many did Unitas win? 2?
1. I thought it was
1.
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
Drew Brees has 1 and better stats.
Yep. So that was their number 4. My number 4, I went with a Manning, but I went with Peyton Manning. And the reason why I stuck him at number 4 is that guy was a god when it came to regular season. If you wanted a guy to put up like 1 billion points, that was that guy. Just whistling that ball everywhere, but then he was like opposite of his brother. They got in the playoffs and it was like, uh-oh, how do we play? Like, you just played 16 games of like beautiful football. How did you forget? So, yeah, I think he could have been higher. He's got 2 Super Bowls from 2 different teams. I just put him there just because when it came to the playoffs, he kind of fell apart. And I don't think that should be the main reason why, but that was his weakness, was that. And that otherwise he was pretty dominant quarterback, very dry quarterback. I didn't really enjoy him when he played. But now when he's in like commercials or even his Monday night thing or Sunday night with Eli or whatever, they're kind of comical. They have that dry humor. And
his weakness was Bill Belichick's defense. That's
true. That's true.
Yeah, so that's exactly who I have it for. Just above his brother, because he put up amazing stats year in and year out. Like you said, he couldn't do it in the playoffs. He did get 2 Super Bowls, so that's the tiebreaker. He had better stats than Eli, so he goes above him. But yeah, I really like those Colts teams. Like when he had Marvin Harrison, Reggie Wayne, and Edgerrin James and Dallas Clark, they were just putting up 40, 50 points regularly. Like they were so fun to watch. And then the Broncos team that one year where he had like, was it 50 touchdowns or something crazy with like Demaryius Thomas and Julius Thomas, like
Eric Decker,
yeah.
Gopher.
Yeah. So yeah, Peyton was fun to watch. I thought because he would throw it down the field a lot and he was very accurate. And like you said, he couldn't consistently do it in the playoffs, unfortunately. But yeah, he's a top 5 quarterback easily.
Yeah, he like I'm not saying I didn't enjoy watching him. Like I enjoyed watching him. He just more or less drove me nuts, and maybe that was because he wasn't on my team and I was just mad, like, my quarterback Brett Favre can't do what he does, even though Brett Favre did a really good job. I don't have Brett Favre in my top 5. I'll tell you that. I know.
Aaron Rodgers?
Can't tell you that.
But you told us Brett Favre wasn't, so.
He wasn't. Favre would make it on my top 10. He was too much of a gunslinger for me to not put it like top 5.
So was Eli Manning.
Ballsy move by Ryan. But Eli had a clutch playoff,
No, the best thing was that he trolled Tom Brady. Like, who doesn't see that?
Exactly.
and the 15-1 Packers in the playoffs when the Packers went 15-1.
That's true.
Eli Manning came into town, just slapped him around and moved on. That was the end of that.
Lambeau.
Yeah, that was the overtime win. That was.
He also did it to Brett Favre in 2007. I think that was the perfect season with the Patriots.
The Patriots, yeah.
Yeah. So he did it like within 3 years with the Packers, just coming into their town when they were like bottom seed and just like, see ya. With Brett Favre and then Aaron Rodgers. So
just
Eli
Manning
knows what he's doing.
Yeah, beating the Packers, man, I should have had him in top 5. Eli is number 6. He moved up to number 6. He's not 10 anymore. Dan Marino can go back to 7. Eli Manning's number 6.
What's your 4, Barnes?
Oh yeah, and I'm gonna do my 3rd too, if that's okay.
Oh, you're doing what was a snake draft?
Number 3 is Peyton, so you might as well get it out of the way.
Oh, fine.
Yeah, but we can do snake draft.
We'll do snake draft.
I just figured. Well, number 4, I put John Elway.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the guy won 2 Super Bowls back to back with the Broncos.
He also won it as a owner.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, that's true. That's 3. Yeah. So
not a three-peat though.
What?
Not a three-peat.
Not a three-peat. No, but he did win back to back.
Yeah.
So you gotta give credit to something like that, being dominant for years like that. He didn't have as good of stats, but if you got a guy running in and helicoptering into the end zone between 2 defenders
against the Packers.
Yeah.
I mean, you gotta have that guy on your top 5.
Really rub it in the wound, man. Just keep rubbing it in. That was on my birthday.
I mean, he probably has some CTE because he doesn't get the little pansy calls Mahomes gets nowadays. But I mean, and he played in a rough era. Like, he did not get those flags as much.
Yeah.
Like, you see that run that he did, they probably would have called a 15-yard penalty, even though they were at the goal line, but he still made the touchdown. So I kind of got to give credit to the era and that he did do back to back. And that's all I got to say. Like, that's why I put him at number 4.
Yeah, it was not in my top 5, but he was definitely in consideration. He's number 12 all time in passing yards, which is pretty impressive for the era. So yeah, and plus the rushing ability, he was a good runner for that time too. So
he played a long time. Like he played a long time. In his early years, he was kind of subpar, and he just kind of floated along in a way,
So was Eli Manning.
We're just gonna keep bringing that up.
Eli Manning, man. I
He's
love
an
I
love him.
I would love to have a beer with that guy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Would you not?
But we both have to be wearing Packers jerseys.
Wait, Eli would have to be wearing a Packers jersey?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because he owns them.
Yeah. So he would wear a Brett Favre one. He'd wear a Brett Favre one, and then I wear an Aaron Rodgers one. So
No, he'd wear one that says owners on the
oh, fine.
back.
All right, so then you have Peyton Manning at 3.
Oh yeah, and then number 3 is Peyton Manning, and you guys already talked about it. So really, I think it's impressive to win with 2 different teams because it's different coach, different scheme. You got to learn a whole new playbook, possibly, and then also the players are going to be different.
Chemistry.
He did win with 2 different teams. The year he lost, he made it twice with the Broncos to the Super Bowl.
That first one was
And he made it
embarrassing.
twice with the Colts. He's 2-2.
Mhm.
And the year he made it and lost, they got blown out. But man, he put up records that year.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I mean, he went up against Seattle. That was one of the best defenses of all time. And Pete Carroll. So you got to give it to him. Plus, he has a bunch of stats. So, are you okay?
He's doing the Pete Carroll gum.
I'm trying to mash that.
Oh, I thought you were chewing your flow.
It says not to chew or digest the packet.
How come it's mushrooms? They're edible.
Oh my god!
A lot of people say they're edible.
Gonna be huge.
Huge.
Ryan, what's your third?
Number 3 is Joe Montana.
Oh,
and I mean the reasoning is he won 4 Super Bowls.
Mhm.
He could have been number 2 easily just based on that alone. I didn't get to see him play, so that's kind of to your point, is like maybe I would have appreciated him more if I grew up in the 80s or whatever and saw him winning all these Super Bowls. But I looked up the stats. He had 4 Super Bowls. He didn't throw an interception in single one.
okay.
He had 13 total touchdowns, 0 interceptions. The guy was incredible. The 49ers were unstoppable back then. So yeah, I had to put him top 3.
Yeah. I'll agree with you because I put him as my 3. So
Nice.
Ryan and I were talking before this podcast started, Michael. So
we had Drew Brees in common.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. And I put him 3 for very similar. He has good stats, 4 Super Bowls. You can't complain with that. I never got to see him play, so I don't I can watch videos and stuff on that, but it's not the same. So yeah, I have nothing more to say. He's just in third, and the NFL put number 3 as Peyton Manning. So
Okay. Well, matching Barnes.
Yes. See? I didn't even look at your website because I didn't have an autogram on here. I would have never picked him. Not that he's not good, but
and then we'll snake draft back. The NFL for their number 2 had Joe Montana. So
okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
Spoiler.
I had them too.
2 in a row, baby. Maybe I work for the NFL. Who knows?
So you wrote that article in 2019?
Yeah, I was a big autogram fan back then.
Lucas, do you have Aaron Rodgers as your number 2?
Maybe I have that as number 1.
Oh god.
Ah, jeez.
Nope, I have Aaron Rodgers as number 2 because I can't take away from the number 1 person. Aaron Rodgers is number 2 for multiple reasons.
Oh, God. Because of his Netflix special.
No, actually, I didn't incorporate that at all. That would probably bring it down a little bit, but
No, I want to hear the reasoning here.
He has arguably one of the best touchdown to interception ratio, and I don't think it'll ever be touched ever, because it's flipping amazing. I don't know. Maybe he's just that good with the ball. I don't know. He's a very talented person. He didn't get the weapons around him long enough in his career to do something with it. Obviously, they fudged up that 2015 era time, and then they had one after that. But then after that, the Packers organization they're just so focused on rebuilds every fucking other year. It's just I'm annoyed by them. Packers head office can lick my ass, literally. I love the Packers, but their front office is a bunch of trash mongrels, and people be like, "Oh no, well, we got Jordan Love, and we got 3 studded quarterbacks for 30 years, 40 years. Yeah, but they have what? Two Super Bowls to count for it. So it's like,
Exactly.
hello. So, Aaron Rodgers definitely gets flack. He's definitely an odd duck, but that doesn't take away from what he can do with a football, what he can do with touchdowns. And if he comes back for another year, he's going to surpass, I think, Brett Favre in touchdowns. I don't know. I think he's in top five. But basically, the reason why he's second is his stats are unbelievable. And also, on top of his stats, he missed 2 seasons, the one with the Heelys, and then the time that
He
uh
walked into the bar.
yeah.
Oh yeah, the Matt
So
Flynn year.
that's two basically full seasons. Barr was not a full season, but it was more than half of a season that
It
he
was
didn't
like
get to put
weeks of
number
success.
that he didn't get to put numbers up. So this is a hypothetical, but if you were to add 2 more seasons on there, his numbers are even better. So I'm putting him at number 2 just because that. Um, he's probably realistically lower than that, and I have a little bias towards him, but he's my number 2.
But wouldn't you argue that part of the game is staying healthy? And Brett Favre was an Iron Man and he stayed healthy. So why would you not put Brett Favre instead of Aaron Rodgers right there?
If Brett Favre played in this era, they wouldn't have allowed him to go onto the field. He would have went into that concussion blue tent. They would have been like, "What the fuck are you talking about? Peanut butter and jelly sandwiches? You're not going back out on the field, pal." So it was a different era, but yeah. And Brett Favre's numbers, he's a gunslinger. He will fire it in there, and he will make interceptions, make mistakes, but he will make the game fun. Um, so I don't hate on Brett Favre by any means. He doesn't have this. If Brett Favre had maybe 2 more Super Bowls, so he had 3 Super Bowls total, different story. We're talking. So yeah, that's my 2.
All right, I can respect putting Aaron Rodgers in your top five, but not top two. I think all time, definitely arm talent wise, top five. Just based on arm talent alone, he's made so many crazy throws
Mm,
that I can't even count. Like there should be like a 20-minute YouTube video of just awesome throws that Aaron Rodgers has made because
There
he,
probably
he
is.
he has been a really great quarterback for a long time. I top 10, I could see it, but I can put him in my top five just because of
The
the lack of clutch, it seems like in the
Yeah.
playoffs.
the NFL, the 2019 one put him at ninth or 10th, I think, when I saw. So, but that was in 2019, so that was before he had his fourth MVP or whatever. So,
Yeah, he has won a lot of
yeah.
MVPs. I'll give him that.
So, but what's yours?
Well, number two is another hot take because you guys didn't put him on your top five, but it's Dan Marino. And I know Super Bowls are important. I know,
They are.
but like, one guy can only do so much. If an organization is poorly run and they don't give him a defense,
Hmm.
it's not his fault. He's the only guy in the top 10 of passing yards all time that didn't play in the year 2000 or after. And I
Yeah.
just think that has to be taken into account when you're looking at the best quarterbacks of all time. He clearly had the talent and he was putting up numbers that were unheard of in that era. And just based on that, and I wish I got to see him play because clearly he was really good. Yeah, that's why I put him up there. He put up amazing numbers for the time he played in, and I wish he had won a Super Bowl so people wouldn't hold that against him.
Do you think that he regrets not coming back for 1 more year because they had a really, really good defense right when he retired? Or I don't know who they acquired, but
I didn't know that.
yeah, if you look back, I got really bad at names, so don't quote me on who they had for defense, but then they brought in some rookie when he retired,
I was gonna
and
say that would be the time they got like Zach Taylor and or Zach Thomas and
yeah,
Jason
yeah,
Taylor when their
yeah,
defense got
yeah,
good. Yeah, you're right.
and they came on like really hot in 2000, 2001. Their defense was just stout, but their offense was just subpar because they didn't have a quarterback, and that was right when he retired. So I wonder if he ever regrets not coming back for 1 more season. But he didn't know because he retired like most people retire, not like Brett Favre, not like Aaron Rodgers, where they drag it on. They usually be like, "This is my last year. I'm done now," and then they're done. So
Yeah.
Yeah, he probably does have regrets. if he started in like the year 2000, I feel like he would be up there with like Tom Brady, in terms of how people regard him. I just think he would have thrived in the new era too. And he probably would have won a couple Super Bowls if he had a defense.
Yeah, I have Dan Marino in my top 10, hands down. Same with Elway. I have him in my top 10, but Elway's probably higher just because he has 2 Super Bowls and he went out basically 2 in a row, which is very impressive. Like no one goes out on top ever
Yeah.
in any sport. No one really does. Um, and
One reason he didn't get a three-peat.
he should have stayed 1 more year.
Yeah.
But I would rank Marino in top 5 if he would have been able to get a Super Bowl, but I don't hold that against him that he didn't get a Super Bowl because he kind of did carry the team for the most part. So,
yeah.
Well, sometimes that's what you get for staying loyal. So he's got my respect, not like Saquon Barkley. Anyways, mine is Joe Montano, number 2.
Did you just go on to NFL.com and just look at their second pick? Is that why?
Yeah, no, I definitely did because Peyton Manning, Joe Montano. I mean, those are
and your number 1.
And my number 1 probably. I'm guessing. I
Hey,
mean, should we all just say it? Who number 1 is?
No,
on
number
3?
Okay.
1, 2, 3.
Tom Brady. Yeah. And the NFL had Tom Brady too. Weird.
What? I had the top 3 quarterbacks of all time correct.
Hot take after hot take.
Well, that was 2019. They haven't made a new article that I could find that, maybe after the three-peat they'll make a new one.
I was gonna put Mahomes honorable mention. But if he wins 3 in a row, he is number 5 on my list.
Oh wow. He's not even in my top 10.
Drew Brees would go away.
Even though he didn't do anything stat-wise this year.
Yeah. He got a three-peat. Top 5. He got a three-peat.
I think you guys hold Super Bowls a little bit too high in regard.
Joe Montana has 4. So Mahomes would tie him. So why would I not put him right by Joe Montana?
The only people that I put high for Super Bowls was Tom Brady. Otherwise, Joe Montana was 3rd. Brees has 1, Aaron Rodgers has 1, and Peyton has 2. And if Peyton would have done a little better in the postseason, that guy would easily be number 2. He would surpass both of them. But
they all have good career stats and Super Bowls. Mahomes has good career stats so far. He could break records. He's got like 10 more years left. Like, you don't know what his records are going to be like. So I'm assuming he's not going to be horseshit.
10 extra years plus an extra game per year. You never know what stats he's going to, break or get into the top 5 on just because of playing more games and stuff. But yeah, I don't think we're going to say anything that nobody's heard about Tom Brady.
Tom Brady.
He's the best quarterback of all time. I don't know if there's a soul out there that could actually defend that and have a good reason to defend it.
You know what? I think he got favoritism when he started dating Melania, because she's a model.
Giselle.
With Giselle. Wow.
He's thinking of Trump again. Trump.
A lot of people confuse them because they're so beautiful.
You got some stuff on your mind, man.
Melania dated Tom Brady before she married Trump.
So you're saying there's a chance?
That'd be wild. Saying there's a chance.
All right. Now, let's do our top 5 all-time wide receivers. Starting from 5, going to 1. Michael, do you want to start, or should we start with the NFL?
I mean, what do you mean? Oh, yeah. I can start since I've been pretty spot on with the NFL. I mean, I did write it. So number 5 for me, we'll see what I wrote back in 2019.
Well, no, this wide receiver list, the all time, I couldn't find a date when they wrote it. On the article, but it was from the NFL. So
okay, yeah, I keep things confidential.
Yeah.
I put Larry Fitzgerald, number 5. He is the Minnesota Vikings ball boy back in the day. So might be a little biased, but I mean, look at his stats. He almost won a Super Bowl. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's a leader, and I like the celebrations, everything wide receivers do, but you look at a class act, that's Larry Fitzgerald. And that's why he got number 5 for me. Like just the way he presents himself with respect, treats others with respect, and the stats he put up. And he's loyal. So
He is.
Anyways, but yeah, Larry Fitzgerald's number 5. So what did I write back in?
I don't hate that. Oh, you want me to go to the NFL right away? I can go to the NFL.
Well, I just want, yeah, I'm curious.
Well, through my chicken scratch, and that's what I was trying to really figure out what I wrote there.
Well, we can have Ryan go. You can figure it out while Ryan talks.
Oh, yeah, Ryan, why don't you go? I'll still try and figure it out.
Okay, number 5.
It's someone that we like didn't play when we were around. So.
Oh, okay. So a name you can't read.
Well, I can't read my chicken scratch, so I don't know what I wrote.
Number 5 is Larry Fitzgerald.
Oh, well, let's go.
Would you guys just sit together and just, hey, let's create the same list?
Yeah, so Larry Fitzgerald is the longevity pick. The guy played for a very long time. He was never the sexiest wide receiver in the league. He was never the flashiest guy. He wasn't leading the league in touchdowns, but he was always getting like 100 catches, 1,000 yards, 8 to 12 touchdowns. Yeah. And he was one of the few receivers during that time that could like carry a team to a victory. Look at the Packers game in the playoffs. We're bringing that up again. The Packers have a lot of heartbreaking playoff games now that we talk about it. Man, thanks. When he, what was it, like a 70-yard slant route he just took to the house in overtime. Yeah, that was like an incredible play, and he's just like you said, a class act. That adds some bonus points. But yeah, Larry Fitzgerald, stud for a long time, and he just did everything right. But while it's on me, I just wanted to mention my honorable mention pick, and that's Chad Johnson. Just because he was so fun to watch, and he was a great route runner, and he kept the game fun, and he did all the cool celebrations. Greatest celebrator of all time, in my opinion. But yeah, sorry, you can go ahead, Lucas.
Yeah, because he's a Bengals fan.
I appreciate Chad Johnson. He was fun to watch. I wish he would have been on a better team at the time, or at least had a better quarterback at the time. Because he could have probably put up some numbers like T.O. I still think T.O. was a little better than him because T.O. was built just bigger, like a brick shithouse.
I'm sure we'll talk about T.O.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't hate that pick for number 5 at all. My number 5 is very, 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 very biased. Yeah, it's Jordy Nelson. He's top 5. He's a top 5. You put that guy in any scenario besides.
Oh my God!
I'm sure my laptop right now.
Besides, hear me out. Top 5. You put that guy. He could run routes. The only time he didn't play well was when he went to the Raiders. But we all know any person that goes to the Raiders
didn't have a good quarterback.
Falls completely apart. Completely apart. The Raiders is a cursed franchise. The only time anyone has done well in a Raiders uniform was when the Raiders draft you, and then maybe you have a little help. So, other than that, the Raiders are cursed. So Jordy Nelson has the numbers. He was down a year from his leg injury, came back. If the Packers wouldn't have just flung him away, sent him to Raiderville, who knows? He probably could have had another 15 touchdowns on top of that, maybe more. And that would have put him even higher. His stats aren't bad by any means, but they're no TO, they're no, longevity. I think he only played like 10 years maybe in the league, and 8 of them with the Packers. I said it was bias, but that's my number 5. So
I mean, the question was of all time.
All time. All time.
Okay, I had to look this up because Jordy Nelson is 92nd all time in receiving yards. So your argument sucks. It's terrible. Well, there's no way he's top 5. Get out of here.
He's biased.
Hey, I'm biased. I said it was really biased. Okay, I wasn't saying he should be top 5. I'm just saying. I'm gonna write an argument for him. All right. Here's the NFL's top 5 guy. Steve Legent. He played in 1967 to 1989 for Seattle Seahawks.
Oh yeah.
So
Okay. Yeah, that's respectable. Better than Jordy Nelson. Oh, Lakers won?
yes. Actually, I don't think I picked the Lakers because they fucked me the last few times. You want to do a snake draft, or you want to go back to you?
No, go ahead.
Okay. Well, the NFL did Lance Allworth, fucking Chargers guy, and Dallas Cowboy guy from the 70s.
Okay.
So it really means it really means nothing to me. So, um, not saying that he didn't do anything, but yeah. So, my number 4 though is Larry Fitzgerald.
Oh,
Oh, now my pick's legit. I agree with you guys. He's not glamorous. He's not a shiny object, but he's consistent and he's been there. He's been there a long time, which is difficult to do, especially in the wide receiver area because as you get older, you get slower. Blah blah blah. Agility goes down, but guy could catch. Guy has hands. Maybe could have went to a better team, but got stuck in Arizona, which now that I'm thinking about it, I might change my bottom 2 garbage teams. But yeah.
It's all bottom team.
Larry Fitzgerald was my 4th.
Nice.
Good pick. Good pick.
So, what's your 4th, Ryan?
Number 4 for me is Kelvin Johnson, and he's the opposite of Larry Fitzgerald, where he is the sexy guy. He only played 9 years.
He did,
and he retired at age 30. He retired when he could still do it. Obviously, he was still killing it. But just watching him catch touchdowns over basically anybody in the league, he just go up and get it. Like Matthew Stafford, he could just throw it up. It's kind of like prime Randy Moss in a way. Like Kelvin Johnson wasn't the same like speed guy, but he could catch anything you threw at him, and he was just really fun to watch. Megatron might be one of the greatest nicknames of all time. But yeah, it was a shorter stint, but his domination was undeniable, and I think he deserved a spot in my top 5, so that's why I put him there.
Before you go, Michael, I will say this: if you guys had like a gun to me and forced me to change my 5th, Megatron was going to be my 5th.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
I just pushed Jordy Nelson ahead because I'm biased. So, Megatron was fun to watch. I think he could have been better if the Detroit Lions would have been better. He probably would have stuck around longer. Also, I think wasn't he plagued with knee injuries or something?
Yeah, he's basically the wide receiver version of Barry Sanders, who would have also been in my top 5 if we did running backs tonight.
Yeah,
it's short career, but just dominating.
Yeah. So I agree.
Yeah,
I'm Chris Carter.
No, I didn't put it. I was tempted to put Chris Carter. I am looking at longevity, stats, and I mean Super Bowls don't matter as much, but you gotta like if a guy has the longevity and stats with a Super Bowl, he kind of trumps, no pun intended, a lot of people.
Gonna be big.
Gonna be big. I put Marvin Harrison at number 4.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
He's got the stats.
Yeah.
If you want to talk about route running, I mean, guy's a beast. Helped Peyton Manning pick up so many first downs and so many drives. I mean, again, it was methodical the way they went down that Colts offense, and that's because of Marvin Harrison's route running ability. And he does have a Super Bowl, so
yeah, I think he's top 5 or 6 or something all time in receiving yards, and he would have been one of the guys I plugged in if I had someone else at 5, it would have been Marvin Harrison.
I mean, I know he's gotten into some legal troubles, but
didn't he send out a hitman or something?
Yeah, might not be the greatest guy, but
we're not basing off personality.
Exactly. Yeah. Otherwise, we wouldn't even talk about Brett Favre. I mean,
hey, that guy was ahead of his time in dick pics, apparently. So,
jeez. But yeah, Marvin Harrison, number 4 for me.
Don't hate it.
Yeah,
I'm sorry I left out Calvin Johnson. It's just the longevity piece did not. If I'm taking top five,
Different criteria. It's fine.
it's you gotta put up the stats if you don't have the longevity. And he wasn't quite where everyone else in the top five was at for stats without the longevity. So that's why he's out of the top. But yeah, top 10, Calvin Johnson. I mean, if he would have played longer, like he would be up there.
If it was just top 5 guys in their peak,
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah.
then Calvin Johnson. It's like top tight ends. Like Gronk would be there number one if you're just looking at peak. You know what I mean? Like 1 season, 2 seasons, something like that. So of domination.
Would Aaron Hernandez make out your list?
He wasn't on Gronk level.
No, he'd be hanging out at number 6.
Oh my God. No pun intended.
Hey, the Apple TV documentary just came out last year. Too soon.
No, there was another documentary before that though, so it's been out for a while.
Yeah, no, I know. On Netflix, they made one.
Yeah. You want to snake draft it back? 3?
Sure. I mean, I kind of feel bad, but I will do number 3. It's gonna be T.O.
Oh, T.O. Okay.
I don't want to take away from it. Ryan's got a lot to say about T.O. All I gotta say, get your popcorn ready. Enough said. Let's go.
Thanks for ruining it. Because now we know Ryan picked T.O.
I don't know. Did you pick T.O. at 3?
I put T.O. at 3. As much bias as I have towards him, because he's my favorite player of all time. He
might have put him at 1, to be honest. I was taking a risk there.
No, I had to be realistic. I wasn't gonna put, like putting him at 1 would be like putting Jordy Nelson at 5, which would be crazy. But no, T.O., this guy was so good for so long. He came into the league. He didn't even start for the first 2 years, so he didn't really have great stats. But then the next 12 years or whatever he played, he was just unstoppable. The guy, no matter what team he was on, no matter what quarterback he had, no matter how dramatic he was being, he would still get the ball. And he played at age 37 for the Bengals, and he put up 982 yards and 9 touchdowns. That's incredible. The only person that's ever done that at that age is Jerry Rice, besides T.O. So I think T.O. has to be top 3 for anybody, in my opinion. He's just the epitome of like the NFL wide receiver. He's just a big body. He's also really fast.
Yeah.
Catches. He dropped some balls. Yes. He had some drop issues later in his career, but man, when he was on, he was on.
Yeah. No, I agree, because I put him at my number 3. So look at that.
What does the NFL
do? They stuck Randy Moss.
Oh.
So
T.O. didn't make their top 5?
No, he did not.
Bias.
If I recall,
haters,
they put him at Larry Fitzgerald was 7, T.O. was 6.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
And then Calvin Johnson was 8, Marvin Harrison 9, 10 was Raymond Berry from the 60s.
I don't even know who that is.
Yeah.
Colts, Baltimore Colts.
At least I knew 5 and 4. I don't know Raymond Berry is either.
I've never heard that name.
I agree with you, Ryan. T.O. is a fucking monster, and if he would have been in the mid 2010s, like if he would have came in like in that would have been his prime era, dude would have probably fucking put up bigger numbers than anyone out there.
Yep.
I think he was ahead of his time. I don't think he was a true diva. He was a diva, but I think he was a diva, but a diva ahead of his time. So like if he were to put into this time, I don't think you would call him a diva. You'd just be like, that's just a normal fucking person now. But I always remember the celebrations. But the thing that when someone says T.O., I just see that interview where he's in his freaking parking driveway, just lifting weights and doing sit-ups, and then TMZ and whoever's around him are asking questions, and he's like just working out with the hat backwards, shirt off, just going to town.
Dude, that guy was so ripped. It was amazing. Yeah, he has more receiving yards in his career than Randy Moss.
Yeah.
Saying something. So
yeah. No, dude's he's a monster, and Yeah. He deserves a top 3 spot for sure. I agree with that. So the NFL wide receivers one is rigged. What are we on? 2? The
I was a
NFL
little
for
salty that year when I wrote it.
yeah. Number 2 was a Packer player, Don Hudson, for the NFL.
What?
Back in the 1935s to 1945.
Okay,
Well,
I didn't write this.
Hold on.
you said you did.
Are you telling me Randy Moss isn't in the top 10?
Randy Moss was 3rd for them.
Oh, okay. You forgot
Yeah.
to say that.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
oh,
Was
he
third.
did say that.
Yeah.
You did?
Yeah,
Oh,
Yeah, because we
Don
did this. We
Hudson?
did the snake draft. So
yeah.
Don Hudson?
yeah, Don Hudson, a Packer wide receiver from 1935 to 1945. So almost
When the
100 years ago.
the forward
Almost
pass
a
wasn't even invented yet.
almost 100 years ago. So that's
Jesus.
that's a bit stupid. But uh yeah, that was their number 2. My number 2 is Jerry Rice. Um he's not number 1 because of 2 reasons. One, um he I don't know, he just rubs me the wrong way. I don't know. He rubs me the wrong way like Chris Carter does. So that drives me nuts. But 2, the only reason why he has this many stats is because he played fucking what 25 fucking plus years. Of course he's good. I'm not taking that away from him. I don't know. He can't be number 1 because he seems more like a number 2 wide receiver in my heart. So
Oh. I
if,
mean,
if
he is a great route runner. He's like Chris Carter. Knows how to work the sidelines, knows how to get
so
those first downs.
he's
But
got
he has
great
a lot of
he,
Super Bowls.
he's got
3.
great stats. Yeah, but here's my thought on Super Bowls. Here's my thoughts on Super Bowls. If you're a quarterback, the Super Bowl means more to you, I feel like, because it adds more
Yeah.
prestige to you. If you're a wide receiver, don't get me wrong, you still want to win the Super Bowl, means something. But no one's going to be like, let's say in this instance, what if Jordy Nelson had like 5 Super Bowls and still had the same stats? I wouldn't put Jordy Nelson any higher than that 5th place spot that I stuck him because of Super Bowls. Now, if he had better stats and then maybe 1 Super Bowl, well, he does have 1 Super Bowl, but if he had better stats, then I would put him higher. I don't know. That's how I
Okay,
take
but
one.
Jerry Rice has 3 Super Bowls, and just because that doesn't boost him, you're still ignoring the fact that he's like leagues ahead of everyone in the stats, and the longevity has to
Yeah.
play a factor in that.
Yeah.
He
It
played
does.
until he was 40
Yeah.
or 41.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I put him at number 2. I'm not taking number
So
1 away.
longevity is hurting Jerry Rice, in your opinion.
No, I'm saying he only got there because he played longer.
Yeah, so his longevity.
Well, the fact that he was that good to play 20 years as a wide receiver alone
Yeah.
is like makes him the undisputed one in my opinion. But hey, I respect it.
He was really good in San Francisco, and when he very first started off in the Raiders, he was good. But then towards the end, he was just more. He reminded me more. He in his end career, he reminded me a lot of Donald Driver. Donald Driver could make plays in the end of his career, but he was just more of a, not to say an afterthought, but he was more of like a backup to a backup. He was never the top dog. He wasn't the guy that, I don't know. That's my thought. But
Can I just
he's a great wide receiver. I'm not taking anything away from him on that. I'm just saying the reason why he's number 2 is because he played for so long, which is amazing, but at the same time, it also is a counterintuitive. It, you know, it's kind of like the Megatron thing. If Megatron played longer, he would have probably knocked out some more.
We don't know.
We don't know. But
No.
also, Jerry Rice pushed more of his stats out there, kind of like Tom Brady did, kind of like Aaron Rodgers is doing, kind of like Brett Favre did. So I just can't put him at number 1. I can't do it. I'm not going to do it. And
Could I just say one thing? I think Donald Driver might be the best Packer wide receiver of all time.
whoa, I would put him in my top 5. Top 5.
Ahead of Hudson.
Yeah,
Hudson's not on my top 5. All right, Ryan, what's your number 2? And if it's Jerry
Number
Rice,
2.
I swear to God.
Well, I already told you who my number 1 was. That's Jerry Rice. Number 2 is Randy Moss. And
Ooh.
let's go.
I feel like these top 3, this is the correct order, just based on stats, based on best seasons, based on eye tests, based on everything. Randy Moss he was a force. He was incredible. He had that season with the Patriots. He had his rookie season with the Vikings. He had that season with Dante Culpepper. There was a lot of great Randy Moss seasons. But he can't be number 1 to me because he kind of fell apart when he was on the Raiders. He kind of, towards the end of his career, he kept getting traded. I don't know what it was, if it was an attitude thing or a play thing, but he just wasn't putting up the same stats consistently throughout his whole career. And so in his prime, he's number 1 based on just talent. But based on full careers, I had to put him at number 2 because he's amazing. He was probably the most fun receiver to ever watch. But he can't top Jerry Rice based on stats.
Okay, I can respect that. I'm just saying for my list. That's the reason why I ranked him that way. But Michael, what'd you pick?
Ryan and I have the same top 3
in the same order.
Yeah, T.O., Moss, Jerry Rice.
Did you guys? Did you guys sit at the? You sit at the same table, just
I mean, it's just like our picks.
These are just the right picks,
It's just common sense thinking.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why we're each other's best men, So we just have very similar thinking. So, but we gotta talk about this. I had T.O. Moss is my number 2. I mean, like Ryan said, deep threat. His rookie wide receiving year, breaking records.
Mm-hmm.
And then, he's a guy that gives up.
Mm-hmm.
He could have done so much better,
and he admitted it.
Yeah, no, it's like I'll give shit. Yeah. Like you gotta love and hate that. I mean, it's just like when he wants to try, like I understand it. When I want to try, I can be good at something, but when I don't give a shit, I'm like, I'll put 50% in today.
But remember the moment when somebody asked him, "How are you going to pay your fine?" What did he say? "Straight cash, homie."
Oh yeah, straight cash.
That's a legendary moment. Yeah. We'll never forget it.
Straight cash, homie. Yeah. Sorry, I forgot the question. I know the answer. I just don't remember the question.
So
the guy's from Raytown, man. I mean, small town kid. He made it, and so I don't know. Yeah, you gotta respect him for that. So
then you
with the Patriots. I don't care that he hasn't won a Super Bowl. Man, that was fun to watch.
That was the best wide receiver season of all time.
Yeah,
that was.
Yeah. Sorry, Tyreek Hill.
You have Jerry Rice as your number 1, then, correct?
Yeah, both of us do.
Do you guys have anything to say about Jerry Rice then, or did you?
I don't really have anything to add after what I said to you after putting him number 2, but he's just the GOAT. He's the Tom Brady of wide receivers, in my opinion.
Yeah. I mean, mine advocated for him enough to where I didn't really need to say anything. I don't know how you go against him. I mean, I guess you just got to be a salty little bitch.
Well, for my number 1, I literally have the same people as you, just different orders. I have Randy Moss as my number 1.
Oh, shit.
Because,
I have to give you that.
Because basically for everything that what you guys said, reverse it. Because that guy had raw talent, so much raw talent. And he didn't put, and like you guys said, he admitted it. Like he didn't put as much effort into the weight room, into giving a shit about like these little small things that would have made him even better. And Jerry Rice did all that. So I'm not taking away from Jerry Rice. I'm just giving it more to the raw talent, because Randy Moss was a fucking talent and someone that we're probably not going to see in the next 20 years. There'll probably be someone eventually, maybe out of our time, but like that person doesn't come along like out of the blue. You can't teach that talent. You're born with that talent, and then you have to refine that talent. And he was a threat anywhere he went, even on the houseboat. It doesn't matter. He was really good there, and and yeah, he did peter out at the end of his career with the Raiders and a bunch of like the bull crap that was going on. But
Well, he petered out with the 49ers.
Titans, 49ers, Vikings, all in the same season.
Yeah. The Raiders were he didn't want to be there. He didn't try at all.
Yeah.
He didn't give a shit. Like, and then he went to the Patriots.
Trade him for peanuts.
Yeah, for peanuts to the Patriots, and he just goes off for like 2 or 3 years.
23 touchdowns.
He's like, oh, Tom Brady made me care again, so I'm gonna try during the game.
Well, I'm not gonna say that, it was he can do whatever he wants because he can, but like after he got out of Minnesota, I feel like then he was just looking for a Super Bowl. He didn't care anymore. Just give me into a place I can get a Super Bowl. And when he was jumping all around, it was just trash mongrels after trash mongrels. And then finally, Tom Brady was like, "Hey, you should come over here." And then he awoke him again. And then here comes Eli Manning, SEAL Team 6, and ruined his whole life. So, not his whole life, but yeah.
That's the only reason I would be okay with the Patriots winning that year. Yeah, I would have been okay just for Moss to get a ring. But
I wanted them to win that. That would have been really cool. But yeah. And then the NFL had Jerry Rice, like you guys. So I'm not against Jerry Rice being number one. It's just I just feel like you put them both in their prime. I think Moss beats them out 10 times out of 10.
Well, yeah, but that's the Kelvin Johnson argument too.
I know.
mean,
it is.
But
it is.
Jerry Rice has stats that will never be broken records.
Yeah.
They're never going to be touched.
No.
I don't think.
Ever. No. All right. Now the two hot ones. The top 5 organizations, and this is from a new article. It's from the Bleacher Report. Their 5th best. I'll say this first. So all these teams, how they ranked them was from when the NFL was established, so when they started doing Super Bowls, and then they also acquired before that. So before the NFL had Super Bowls, they had just championships. So they acquired that into the theory. So when you hear a few of these, you're going to be like, okay.
You got the Oilers on there?
No, not in their top 5, no.
Good, because they sucked.
Yeah. Their 5th place was the Raiders. And that's why.
Okay.
Because
gotcha.
Because the Raiders had something back before, before they started the Super Bowls, and then also the Raiders were good. What was it, in the 60s, I think? Somewhere around there.
Didn't they have a Super Bowl?
Yeah, they lost to the Bucks.
Oh, yeah, they made
Rich Gannon lost.
But
so Seth was.
So when I made my list, it was more of like top 5 organizations in my lifetime. Thing. I was looking at how many Super Bowls they won in the 60s. I don't care about that.
I mean, I did look at Super Bowls.
Yeah.
Overall for an organization. I did
no,
take that.
Maybe a little bit.
I did this. I did the same with you guys. I did it more like what I've seen in the last 30 years, and then I accounted for Super Bowls in the past.
Yeah.
I didn't account for stuff really before the Super Bowl era, but
you won't see like the Bears.
Yeah, but this Bleacher Report did, so that's why you see the Raiders and these stupid other ones you'll hear here.
Okay.
So, but they picked the Raiders. Mine was Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
I was gonna say I think you're gonna take the Bucks.
I
don't know why I had a feeling about that.
And the reason why is because they have these blips through the last 20 years, 24 years, where they're good. In 2000, they were good. And then they dissipated and vanished. And then they popped back up on the radar, but they didn't go in the Super Bowl at all into, what was it, just after the 2010s. And then at the very end, Tom Brady brought them back. So they've done this whole up, down, up, down. So they're my top 5 organization because of that, because they've been relevant but disappear, and they come back and forth. And I think that's better than just being, straight line. Like if you make the playoffs and lose in the wild card every time, well,
Yeah.
I mean, they have 2 Super Bowls, so
yeah. So
Yeah, I did my list a little different. Just I wasn't. I don't think the Bucks would be top 5 just because they were literally the laughing stock of the league for a while.
yeah,
They were terrible, and that was like when we were, kids. They
yeah.
they were like the bottom of the NFC North for a long time when they were in our division. And so I couldn't put them in my top 5. But my number 5 is I don't want to say it. I don't even want to say it. It's the Packers.
Oh.
And this is just based on the fact that they've been relevant my entire life. They've drafted really well. Obviously, they've got lucked into 2 quarterbacks in a row and maybe 3. Jordan Love's decent. They just keep hitting those draft picks, and they're always competitive. It doesn't seem like they're ever below the Lions, Bears in the division. Even if they do like choke in the playoffs like the Vikings, they're always there. It seems like they're always in the conversation. So yeah, I put them in my top 5 against my own, against my own thinking, but
hey, I respect that.
Well, unlike Ryan, I did not put them in. They have fans pretty much run their organization. They have screwed 2 Hall of Fame quarterbacks out of multiple Super Bowl rings.
They did.
They're terrible to their people, in my opinion, as an organization. So, anyways, I put number 5, Dallas Cowboys.
Oh, wow.
I mean, they had 3 rings in the 90s. Emmitt Smith, T.O. played there. You got multiple quarterbacks. I mean, Tony Romo. I mean, he never won a ring, but Troy Aikman.
Hey, he got Jessica Simpson.
Michael Irvin, Emmitt Smith. What?
He got Jessica Simpson.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he didn't get a Super Bowl.
The original Taylor Swift.
Yes, Jessica Simpson.
I was talking to Kyle about that. I was like, the last person that the NFL was really like honed in on was the Tony Romo and Jessica Simpson, but that was pre like Facebook. Truly, like that was like like Facebook was alive, but it wasn't like what it is now.
Created.
Yeah,
yeah. It wasn't getting them more views, probably. Basically,
yes. But
otherwise, Tony Romo would probably be a Super Bowl champion.
Yeah, he might. So yeah, I just accounted for Super Bowls, and I accounted for people from Cowboys, like just stars go there.
Jerry Jones.
Yeah, Jerry Jones. Like, who does not know Jerry Jones? Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders. They have a TV show just for the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders. That is great. You have to look at the whole organization, like how you get people in, plus Super Bowls. So I mean, they're doing it.
Counterpoint. Do you want to know how many teams have been to the NFC Championship game since the Cowboys have? Every single one. Every single NFC team has been to the championship game since the Cowboys have. I don't think they're a very well-run organization. I think Jerry Jones is too old off his rocker. I don't think they're making a lot of good decisions there, and they're just not. They haven't been relevant since the '90s. So I don't know how you put them in your top 5. That's my thought.
I'm looking overall, like you're looking just the last 25 years, I guess. So I mean,
well, if they suck for 25 years, they probably shouldn't be in the top 5.
Well, I mean,
the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have more Super Bowls in the last 25 years.
Yeah, good point, Lucas.
Well, the Vikings have 0 Super Bowls, so I mean, I can't really speak on that. So,
Michael, I
was just looking organization. I was looking longevity again, and
I like the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders. I enjoy Jerry Jones's banter.
So I put the Cowboy cheerleaders in there. Jerry Jones. It's organization.
I don't think I could put them in my maybe 10th, maybe. But I can't put them in my top 5. That's nuts.
Thank you.
They have 4 Super Bowls overall, by the way.
This would be coming from a guy wearing a Chiefs jersey.
All right.
Hey, I'm not a Cowboys fan, but man, do you not read about the Cowboys? Is it not entertaining? Do they not entertain you? Come on. That's called an organization. It gets
It's
you
not all
going.
time. It's not all time entertainment. It's all time best organizations.
That is part. That's you got to sell tickets.
Well,
That's
you're
part of
onto
being a
something.
good
You're onto
organization.
something here now, Barnes, because they have one of the best stadiums.
Yeah,
So
I'll give them that. I'll give them that.
I would put the Vikings there, but they haven't won a Super Bowl.
I'll move Dallas up to 9th now for that. That's it though.
You say organizations, I took that into account. A lot of different things they sell, and they're really good at it as an organization. Even though they suck as a team right now for the last 25 plus years. But
Hell, more than 25, like 30.
Yeah,
well, not quite 30 because I think they won in 92, 93, something like that.
that's 30 years ago.
No, it's 2025. Wait.
1995 is 30 years ago.
Oh yeah.
Barnes is
Yeah, never mind.
Barnes feels
Yeah,
old
30
now.
years. Shit. I just looked at the thing, said 2025, not 2015.
All right, who's your number 4?
Yeah, what's your
Number 4. The Chiefs, baby.
Oh my god.
Let's go.
Oh,
I mean,
gross.
first off,
What?
great fan base. If you've ever been down to Kansas City, I've been to Royals games, but I've never been to a Chiefs game, but they're back to back. That atmosphere down there is crazy. I can't wait to go to a game down there. The fan base, the state, it's loud, it's outdoors, it's you just need to experience it. And then the coach and the quarterback, like you have to put in if you want to talk about recently, since we're gonna bash the Cowboys
This
for not
isn't
recently winning Super Bowls. Oh, let's go. The Chiefs, what are they going for a three-peat? That'd be 4 Super Bowls in the last what? 6 years?
Sounds like somebody's a little inconsistent to me.
So
Going by
Barnes,
Super Bowls and fan base and overall organization. Why is a Vikings fan wearing a Rashid Rice jersey? Tell me.
I don't know. Two things. So Barnes is 4 and 5. He's scraping off the barrel from both sides. He's scraping the bottom junk off for Dallas, and then he's just skimming the top, being like, "Yeah, the Chiefs are the best." And then, like, let's use the whole barrel, pal.
Yep.
Yeah, neither of these teams are in my top 5 because of that reason, scraping the barrel.
Yeah.
Do
The
they
Chiefs
not have 4 Super Bowls each? Actually, the Chiefs have more.
the Chiefs would probably be like
5.
11th for me, but
Wow. They've never left their station. They've always been in Dallas. They've always been in Kansas City. They are loyal. Loyalty means something to an organization.
hey, what was the first team that the Chiefs lost to in the champion or Super Bowl?
Oh, the Packers.
Yeah.
Was that why Ryan put it in number 5? Because the Packers were so good 70 years ago. They beat the Chiefs. The Packers who have less Super Bowl wins than the Chiefs.
They have more than the fucking Cowboys.
The Packers. The Packers are
not the Chiefs.
The Packers are a
You're
barrel.
gonna criticize me. You're gonna criticize me.
The Packers, if you
You
take,
don't have the Chiefs at all. You said.
if you take the whole if you take the whole barrel of the Packers, they were great in the beginning. They sucked through the 70s and 80s. The 90s they arose
for a long
again.
time, just like the Cowboys.
The Cowboys were only good in the early 90s.
It's true.
All right.
Why don't you ask Ryan what his 4th one is?
So I put the Packers at 5, so it's only natural that I would put the Vikings at number 4.
Wow.
Respect.
So I'm not basing my list I'm not basing my list on just Super Bowl wins.
Wow.
I'm basing it on how an NFL organization is run, how the owners interact with the team, the coaching, the current coaching, the current atmosphere, the current facilities. So the Cowboys do have a great stadium. Vikings also have a great stadium. They have a great training facility.
Mm-hmm.
They have the most amazing fans in the world.
Best dietitians, best food.
Yeah, they have a great training staff.
Yeah. No, it's legit.
Everything around the Vikings has been great. If you look at the the players vote on like the hardest places to play, the Vikings are consistently in the top 3. Places to go. Everyone wants to play here now. Kevin O'Connell is going to make everyone better. The Wilfs are a great ownership. They're hands off, but they're also very invested in everything. And I think that's important when you look at an NFL organization as a whole. The fans are diehard, obviously. We're all here for the long run, clearly. If not, we would have bailed by now.
Yeah.
But I really think Kevin O'Connell is gonna bring us that Super Bowl someday. I think so.
Yeah. I agree with everything you said. I just can't put him there because no Super Bowl wins. And come on, Mike Tice is a head coach. Brad Childress is a head coach. We've made some dumb head coaching decisions. And finally, KOC, Mike Zimmer, I didn't hate. So, Leslie Frazier, I didn't hate, but
well, yeah, those bad decisions were all previous ownership, and I'm basing it based on who we have now. So
yeah, I'm just looking at the whole organization as a whole, and
okay.
I have a history.
One other thing I want to add: the Vikings are by far the #1 team without a Super Bowl to have like the most wins, the best win percentage.
Yeah,
we're very consistent. That's why I put them here too. Is we consistently win. We're consistently in the playoffs, even if we're a choke artist. So
we consistently lose in the NFC Championship.
I will give Minnesota this. They probably do have a good core to them, and they just make some bad decisions along the way. Like the Childress thing, and just dumb stuff that they've done throughout their early 2000s. Denny Green, even though he was probably past his prime and you got rid of him when you should have, was good. But I don't think I could ever put them in the top 5. They would be. I would put them around the Chiefs. Even though the Chiefs have some Super Bowls, the Chiefs haven't been relevant since this whole debacle, and that's what's really weird about this whole situation. So, I get Ryan's bias, very much like my Jordy Nelson bias, but I would not put them in my top 5. They might be able to squeak. I would have to really look at it and think about it to maybe get them into the top 10, but they're probably just on the edge of the outside top 10 for me.
Also, you guys are forgetting, sorry, about the Chiefs, by the way, Taylor Swift. So
God. But I will say this. The Minnesota Vikings were a animal in the 60s, I think even the 70s, weren't they?
Purple people eaters.
Yeah, and then after that, I don't know what the hell happened, but they have come back on strong in the 90s, especially the late 90s, mid to late 90s, and then they've had their hiccups, but not as much as Detroit Lions.
And if you want to talk about like knowing players, like the Vikings are near the top of that list. Drafted Randy Moss, drafted Adrian Peterson, drafted Justin Jefferson, had Chris Carter on the team for a long time, Dante Culpepper. There's been a lot of awesome players on this team.
Randall Cunningham.
Yeah. Like the role. So yeah,
on page.
We're an exciting team almost every year. Like besides the Christian Ponder years, we've been a pretty exciting team. So
the lost years.
I am biased, and
that was exciting. What are you talking about?
Well, because Adrian Peterson was running all over people that year.
I know. Dude, I'm not gonna lie. The fact that you guys were even relevant just because of one fucking dude, not to say the line wasn't good, because the line does do, a part of that, but literally, like, people are like, we just need to stock the box. And they come up in the box and they still get fucking destroyed.
It was awesome.
If we had Aaron Rodgers that year, we were the ones. But instead, we beat you guys I was at that home game that we beat you guys to clinch a playoff spot.
Yeah.
AP almost got the record that game, but
Bachelor's bitch.
Well,
who's yours?
my fourth one is a purple team. It's the Ravens. Because the Ravens have been a good team since they've established themselves, and they've been very similar to Tampa Bay, but similar but better. They've had a few hiccups here and there, but overall, they got 2 Super Bowls. Um, they got an MVP now, quarterback. They're a stout team and a stout organization, and they seem to just hang around and be good. And when they are bad, they make the correct adjustments, and they prosper. So I can't say they're not a good team because they've proven it. Even though that they might choke a little bit in the playoffs in the last few years, but
Yeah.
it is
For a
what it is.
team that became a team in 1996, the fact that they have 2 Super Bowls and they're always relevant is
Mhm.
pretty incredible. So I totally agree with you.
Yeah,
Um,
I regret maybe not putting them in the top five. Maybe Cowboys could squeak down to 6 for the Ravens.
yes. Okay. We'll allow it. The Bleacher Report for number 4, they had the Giants. Um, because the Giants, I believe, have 2 Super Bowls with Eli Manning, and then
Okay.
they have a bunch of Super Bowl, or not a bunch of Super Bowls, but they have championships before the
Ah,
Super Bowl era. So that's why
Yep.
they were put up there in number 4.
but then they backtracked with Daniel Jones. It's like they just I mean I would have put if yeah, I mean they're more relevant the last couple of years. I guess they did beat the Vikings in the playoff game, so
In the 2000s. Ooh, I remember that one. That was bad. Kerry Collins was their quarterback.
2001.
they beat
2001.
us multiple times in a playoff game, I
Yeah.
guess. I was
2001
talking
was the
about
worst though.
recently.
Yeah, 2001 was the worst one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The championship one. Oh,
Yeah,
Yeah.
41-0, I think.
yeah. That reminds me of when Peyton Manning got his butt kicked by Seattle in the Super Bowl. That was probably the worst Super Bowl ever.
Yeah,
We talked about that twice now, yeah. He got a
Yeah.
safety.
Terrible Super Bowl. Terrible Super Bowl.
was.
The Bleacher Report
Guys
for
cheated.
for number 3 Bleacher Report is the Patriots. So they didn't even put them at top 1. They put it at 3. My number 3 is the Packers. I put them at number 3 because even though I said I wasn't going to, but if you look back before the Super Bowl era, they were really dominant, and that's why they made the Super Bowl trophy the Lombardi trophy. Also, they won the first Super Bowl, so that also equated to that. But before that, the Packers were the dominant team. Um, they've done well early in their life. They did terrible in the middle. They have figured it out. But now I feel like that organization needs to step back and look truly at themselves, because if they don't figure it out here and Jordan Love becomes a bum, they will become the 1970 Packers all fucking over again. And that's not a lie. And if people want to say that I am wrong, they can, but they're one quarterback mess up away from being a garbage team. And that is 1,000% true. And Aaron Rodgers carried that team for almost 10 plus years because they had a terrible defense. So,
Mhm.
but overall, they've been a good team or a good organization in the last 30 years about drafting people. They started off great. They were terrible in the beginning. So I got to put them in my top 5, but they're definitely not number 1. So 3 there.
Yeah. Yeah, props for keeping the bias at 3.
So,
Like I said, top 5 for me. The history's there. The recent success is there. Drafting success, all that stuff. I just wanted to point out the Vikings did have championships before the Super Bowl as
they
well.
did. They did. Yes, they did. So I just, if they had a Super Bowl, I could maybe put them 6th. But if until they have a Super Bowl, I can't put them
That's fair.
there.
Yeah.
Got anything else to say about the Packers?
I mean, they're just they could have done so much better with what they had.
Are you mad, bro?
No, I'm not mad. I'm just like, I'm glad that you guys haven't won more than you already have.
Oh, I know.
You
I'm mad
had
that
the
yeah.
quarterback.
That
Like,
that
look at
fit,
what Tom Brady did. Like,
I know.
if you just had a better organization,
Yeah.
you know,
No. Hey,
won probably
that
three
that's
more
another that's another reason why I didn't give them the number one spot because
bars
they they
than
they
Rodgers.
gave they gave away right after the Packers won the Super Bowl. They went 15-1, and then after that, it was just like we're not going to sign anyone back. Let's just let everyone go away. And then
Yeah.
they don't replace them, or they replace them with terrible people. So
Yeah.
And Jordan Love, by
I'm actually regretting this third now. I might want to move him down.
Jordan Love is not your guy. You guys, I think, already know this, but every Packer fan doesn't want to admit it yet. You guys are in denial. He's not going to lead you to a Super Bowl.
Oh, I don't think he's going to either. I have nothing against the
Okay.
guy. I I I think he's in a system that he's a system quarterback,
Yes.
which a lot of
This is
quarterback
helping him.
that's what a lot of quarterbacks are now, are system quarterbacks for the
Yep.
most part. And we don't have these, not to, ride the Aaron Rodgers penis, but uh, we don't have people like that, like Aaron Rodgers, that can make decisions and all that. We don't have that. It's not. It's a different era. So
Yeah.
you know,
It is a
and
coach-based era now.
it
Yeah.
is, and that's how it is. And so I I don't disagree with you, Michael. I don't think the Packers are a Super Bowl winning organization. Are they a playoff
Could
one?
be.
Hands down,
Yeah.
they're a playoff one for a while. But
Right now.
yeah, no, he's not that. He's not the X factor. Love is not the X factor to put them above. Kind of like what Hurts is, what stupid
Goff,
uh, Goff. But I was gonna say
Darnold.
yeah,
Yeah.
the
But,
Chiefs,
oh,
Mahomes.
Mahomes.
Yeah, he's a system quarterback too. Because
Oh,
you
oh,
yeah, that guy's a system quarterback.
yeah,
So
he knows how to run that system though. That's the
so
difference.
I think you put that guy in any other system, um, he struggles. So,
Laughable.
but
Kansas City walked in the mall.
what's your third, Ryan?
Three, you and I agree on two of the three so far because I had the Ravens at number three. Just
Oh, okay.
the consistency over the last 30 years since they came into
Yeah.
the league. They've rarely been bad. They've already made this like this name for themselves that their defense is going to be tough, hard nosed. They're
Mhm.
going to hit you in the mouth. And then when they got Lamar Jackson, they changed from like this running back only team, I should say, to this quarterback that can do all this stuff. They're just so fun to watch. And John Harbaugh has been the
Yeah.
anchor that they need to keep everything consistent. They seem to always draft well. They get these crazy defensive ends, linebackers, cornerbacks, and they don't even need receivers. Like it's
No.
crazy how they just flat out don't need them.
Yeah.
This year they made the great signing of Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, they couldn't beat the Bills. I don't know if they would have had a better chance against the Chiefs, but it would have been fun to watch either way. So yeah, Ravens.
I bet they would have had a better tush push.
They would have had a better play call.
That too. Michael, who do you got for three? The Detroit Lions. Your,
Yeah, right.
your last two have been, from top and bottom. So maybe you're just taking the middle. I don't know.
I only take teams, organizations with Super Bowl championships. I put number three. I guess I wrote this article by the NFL as well. I put the Patriots as number three.
Oh, okay.
They've won 6 Super Bowls.
Yeah.
I don't know what more you need me to say about that. I don't know their fan base as well. Like I don't feel the vibe as much. I feel more bandwagonish vibes from their fan base. So I'm not like gonna put them at 2 or 1, but because of the championships, I have to put them in the top five.
Okay.
And I put them at three, right in the middle, because I mean, Chiefs and Cowboys are like, tentatively in the top five for right now. Actually, Cowboys already moved out. The Ravens are number five. But anyway.
Yeah, so the Patriots for me were a tough one because I'm like, oh, they've won 6 Super Bowls.
Yeah.
But I didn't put them in my top 5 because it was all with Tom Brady. They don't have a history. They have this 15-year period where they were amazing, and that's it. Like they were terrible before that. They were like the Buccaneers in the 80s, before that. They lost more than any other team, I'm pretty sure, in that span in like the 90s and starting the 2000s is when they really became relevant. And right when Tom Brady left, guess what happened? They're one of the worst teams in the league. So I couldn't put them in my top 5. I respect it. I get it.
Yeah.
Super Bowls are king, but it was all one era to me, and that doesn't do it.
Yeah. No, I can see that side. I put them in my top 5. I'll tell you that. So, did we want Michael to go up to his second since we're snake drafting?
Yep.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I put 49ers.
Ooh.
San Fran.
Even
They've been
though
in it. Joe Montana, Steve Young.
Hey.
They're going to.
Hey,
Yeah.
did they win a Super Bowl ever since the 90s? Or did they just go in the championship like the Packers? Or the Super Bowl and then lose? I'm just asking a question.
Yeah, that's a good question. They have more Super Bowls than the Packers overall as an organization. Yep.
Ugh.
Yeah. They have more Super Bowls. Packers only have 4. So, also it's sunny California. Who doesn't like to go out there? I mean,
San
there's
Francisco?
a lot of San Fran fans. I see people with random San Fran jerseys all the time.
Full House? Full
Where I
House was
go.
out there.
What?
Full house.
Full House
Yeah,
was out there.
Full House.
So,
Golden Gate Bridge, man. I mean, they got a lot of, yeah. But either way, right now they're relevant. They have great coach. They can make any quarterback go to the Super Bowl. If Jordan Love was on their team, they could make him go to the Super Bowl. That's why they're a better organization than the Packers.
he's number 2.
Because 49ers took Jordan Love 2.0, aka Brock Purdy, and put him in a Super Bowl. Oh, wait, and Jimmy Garoppolo. Oh, put him in a Super Bowl. So Packers can't do that. So suck it. Niners at 2. That's why.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I don't have any argument against that. The Niners have been very good pretty much our entire lives. Even if they're not winning Super Bowls the last 25 years, they're making Super Bowls. They have awesome players. They have great defenses. They have great coaches. They have fun offense. The whole thing that they always get the players, and they seem to be a hard team to beat no matter what. And I think Packer fans would know that better than anybody.
Yeah,
that's true.
Awesome.
I don't disagree with you guys on that at all. The only thing that I would say is these guys, the 49ers, are 6th on my list. They don't make my top 5 just because they've haven't brought that Super Bowl back since the 90s. It would be equivalent to if Brett Favre won the Super Bowl in 96 and Aaron Rodgers never brought a Super Bowl, but they went to the Super Bowl. I don't think I could put the Packers at 3. I would think I would have to put the Packers down maybe at 5, maybe 6 with the 49ers, just because they haven't done it. They haven't done it.
But the 49ers would have drafted Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers would have 3 or 4 Super Bowls right now.
That's an interesting scenario right there. That is very what would have, what could have happened.
Yeah.
But I don't disagree with you guys. I can't put them up there just because they haven't sealed the deal. Because if they would have just sealed it once, they don't need to do a three-peat for me to be like they're the greatest team ever. They just need to be relevant and be good like that. That takes who is blowing my phone up? It takes a good organization to be relevant for almost probably pretty close to a decade now that the 49ers have been around. So
you know why they haven't won a Super Bowl? Because another
Patrick,
great organization has blocked them from winning the Super Bowl.
I really think they should have won during the John Harbaugh era. They're whoever their GM was at the time. I think it was Balky.
Jim.
No, was it Jim?
John plays for the
Oh, Jim Harbaugh. Yeah. Sorry, he got fired way too soon. They
Yeah,
they
He
chose the
did.
GM over him, and that was crazy
yeah,
talk. They should have won that Super Bowl against the Ravens, to be honest.
yeah.
Mhm.
So yeah, so leaning into me, that's who I have at number two as well as the 49ers for the
Pretty
same
nice.
reasons I talked
Okay.
about. Pass it on
Okay.
to you.
Um, I don't, I don't disagree. They're definitely good. I just can't put them. My top five is pretty tight, and I feel like I could. Besides, I guess Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay was a little bit of a stretch, but they do have two Super Bowls, so they weren't consistent, but they've come on
What's
and
the three?
quiet down.
Top five, I think. I'm pretty
um,
sure.
Steelers are my second. They're
Oh,
my
nice.
number two. And the reason why they are is because from back in the early '70s, they were the Steel Curtain. They were good. They had Terry Bradshaw, and he might have or might not have been taking performance enhancing drugs back then. Who knows? But that doesn't matter. They're still winning. They're still doing big stuff. And nowadays, they've just been killing it. And even back when the Packers had to beat them in the Super Bowl, even before that, they've been killing it. They've been one of the most consistent teams. They're in, they're out in the playoffs. And I know I said that Tampa Bay hasn't been consistent. They've been up and down, up down. But it's hard to argue with the Steelers because they have I don't even know how five Super Bowls. I don't even know exactly, but they have enough Super Bowls and enough six. Sorry, they have enough Super Bowls and they're consistent enough that in relevancy, I can't not put them at two. So they have to be there, and I would argue I wanted to put them first, but I didn't. So
Yeah, I mean, sorry to spoil it, but they're one for me for all the reasons you just said. I mean, they have the history. Mike Tomlin has never had a losing season. He's been there, I don't know, 15 years. And no matter who the quarterback is, no matter how crappy the offense is, they always find a way to at least go over 500. And they make the playoffs almost every single year. Ben Roethlisberger was there for a while. They were actually fun to watch then. Now not so much. But it's just a consistency along with the history. They're one of the best run. They're the best run organization in the league, in my opinion.
you don't like Broncos country? Let's ride.
I mean,
Or
I put Holloway in top.
Broncos country, let's ride. He's a great
They're number
quarterback. That guy's a great quarterback.
oh, Russell.
He was top five.
He's fun to watch in his
I
warm-ups.
mean,
Come
I
on.
have Pittsburgh at number one. I mean, I
Wow.
think that was the easiest decision.
Okay.
Same with Jerry Rice, Pittsburgh, just like easy.
Tom Brady.
Tom Brady, easy. I mean, the number ones have been extremely like easy, in my opinion. So
Oh,
yeah,
I
I don't know
forgot.
what I have to
Is it?
say.
I forgot to say the Bleacher Report. They put Steelers at 2. Did I say that?
No.
Oh,
Yeah. The Bleacher Report put them at 2.
So they have the 49ers at one.
huh.
Who's your number one? Is it the Patriots?
Yeah. And for this reason only.
Because he
Um,
got massages. Yeah, I can dirty
no,
dog you.
the, the reason why the Patriots are number one, and they can drop and potentially could drop sooner than later. So all these other teams that I've put underneath them, the Steelers, the Packers, the Ravens, not so much, because the Ravens have been relevant for the most of their life that they've been around. Tampa Bay sucked in the beginning, but since 2000, they've been like either good, terrible, or good, and that's kind of how they've been. The Patriots were terrible, terrible, terrible. They got to a Super Bowl with Bledsoe, lost to the Packers, were somewhat relevant in the late 90s, and then Tom Brady came along, and they've been relevant ever since, besides when Tom Brady just left now. So now they're in a little sinkhole. So if they don't come out of the sinkhole and get back to not a Super Bowl, but their winning ways as being a relevant team, they will fall fast in my list. But as of right now, this little sinkhole doesn't fully drop them below the Steelers. But if they continue to be garbage or not, they will fall the top five like someone falling out of an airplane without a parachute. So, yeah. So yeah, that I have the Patriots at number one just for that reason. If they can't get their heads out of their asses and start making a climb back up, they will fall. But for the time being, you know, because if you're an organization that did well in the early times and now you're relevant now, I can kind of forget the middle. But if you were an organization that were good in the beginning and now you're terrible, I'm gonna be like, well, you're a terrible organization. You haven't brought your organization back. So why should I even remotely? But if you're someone that was terrible and now you're relevant, which the Ravens weren't, I don't know if they were terrible in the beginning, but they were not great. But yeah, do you guys want to know what
Yeah.
the Bleacher Report is?
Oh yeah,
Number
yeah.
one,
Yeah.
the Packers.
Oh my God. Because they won the first Super Bowl. Jesus.
No,
Gosh.
no, because they acquired they put in the championships before the Super Bowl era, which they had
Wow.
12 before that. So that's why. So otherwise, I don't think the Packers would be at the top. Nor do I think the Packers are at the top. I would say the Steelers. I would agree with you guys more that the Steelers should be at the top than Jerry Rice should be at the top. So.
All right, that's fair.
But let's get to the bottom two before we start these games. Worst two organizations for the Bleacher Report again. Number two, Detroit Lions.
Ooh.
My number two was also Detroit Lions.
Ooh. Ouch.
So
That's harsh.
I know. It's your second worst.
My second worst is the Jets.
Oh,
Yeah. Well.
They just that team just can't. The ownership can't get out of their own way. They keep making bad decisions. Bringing in Aaron Rodgers was a good decision. I will say that.
yeah.
But they just can't put a team around him, or they just can't. Last year the defense was amazing. This year the defense sucked. Like, why can't they be consistent ever? They're a cursed franchise. I don't. They've won one playoff game in the last 25 years, I think, or something.
Rex Ryan was the last thing that.
Yeah, Rex Ryan was the last time they were relevant, and they barely made the championship and then got their butts kicked in that. They're cursed, and I just don't see them going anywhere. They just don't seem to be like making progress ever. Even when they got Aaron Rodgers, all this excitement, and then they're out of the playoffs by week 14 or whatever. Like it's just not a good story there.
I would probably put them third or fourth, hands down.
Yeah.
So I don't disagree with that at all.
Put them in the top five.
Bottom five, not top five.
Oh, wait. I forgot one point.
Oh.
Ownership was quoted this year as using Madden to decide who to trade for. They decided not to trade for Jerry Jeudy because his Madden rating was too low. That tells you all you need to know about the Jets.
Yikes. Can I move mine to the number one now after hearing that? If you're using Madden as your way of deciding who you're gonna hire, fire, or trade, you're an idiot.
Yeah, do they not realize it's just some random guy at EA making these ratings? It's not like
this looks like a good rating.
Yeah, exactly. Ridiculous.
I wouldn't put the Cowboys organization at number five. It was going based off Madden.
Who's your number two?
Number two, I had a couple things written down, but I'm just gonna go Chargers. They bailed on San Diego. San Diego people love you.
That's fair.
You bailed on them, your fan base. I went to SoFi, watched the Vikings kick your guys' ass, and there was like one Chargers fan I talked to in the stadium. That was it. Seriously, that was literally like, it was pathetic. Show up. No fan base. You fucked your fan base over. So
hey.
Yeah. And I like Jim Harbaugh. I hope he wins a championship with them. I really do. I thought he was going to turn it around for him, but
hey,
Herbert's not the guy.
They're a cursed franchise. Not as much as the Jets, but they are cursed.
Yeah.
So
they're kind of Vikings-esque, where when they have an amazing season, like with Phillip Rivers, LaDainian Tomlinson, they go 14-2, I think.
Yeah.
and then they get bounced in the playoffs right away. It's like, dang, just can't get it going.
Oh, that LaDainian Tomlinson era. Fuck.
Woo.
That
And then
that
go Drew Brees, and then he wins his championship. I mean, they're just cursed.
They are cursed.
They are.
All right, Michael. Come on back with your number one.
The Browns.
Oh, wow.
That's an easy choice.
Yeah, they screwed their back history wise. Why the Bengals was created was because of how shitty of an organization the Browns are. And when people say I'm going to take the Browns to the Super Bowl, they're talking about how much shit they're going to do right now because of how shitty the organization is. The guy they screwed over made the Bengals and just put stripes on that shit. Like it was the best troll ever. I mean, I know the Bengals haven't won anything since, but they've at least made it to a Super Bowl and been close and relevant in the last couple of years. And the Browns sign a fucking rapist. So yeah, that's how good the fucking Browns are as an organization.
Yeah, I mean, that's basically exactly what I had written down.
I didn't know.
They're a poverty franchise.
Yeah.
Their poor fans are wearing, paper bags over their head basically every year. They're diehard fans. I feel bad for them.
They're in the dog pound.
But they go and they traded all these picks for Deshaun Watson, knowing the allegations. That was the worst part. They give him a fully guaranteed contract, knowing all this stuff. Easily the worst run organization in the league.
Yeah.
Oh,
all right, Lucas.
Before I review mine, I don't disagree with you guys at all. At all. They're not my top one. The only reason why they're not my top one is because technically the Browns were an organization before the Baltimore Ravens, because that's technically where the Cleveland Browns went to, and then became the Baltimore Ravens, and then the Cleveland Browns people were so mad, they're like, we don't have a team anymore. And then they created the garbage Cleveland Browns that you guys are talking about. So I'm just incorporating the old Browns with the new Browns. If the old Browns were not existent, then yes, the new Browns would be arguably the worst team ever. The worst team. But since I'm weighing that in, they're probably third now on my list. So they didn't make the top two, they made third. My worst one is the Jaguars, because they've never done anything their entire life, and they will continue to do nothing with their entire life. And the fact that they have two other teams in their state that will do better and always do better than them, the Jaguars will be terrible forever.
Hey, I went to Jacksonville this year and watched a Jacksonville Jaguars game.
Mm-hmm.
This is all I have to say. Duval, let's go.
Hey, they have a swimming pool in their
stadium.
That's pretty cool. Pretty cool.
I'm not saying they're a bad team. I'm just saying they're always going to be a continuous bad team. I'm not saying that your guys is wrong, because the Browns will be bad. They will continue. I just weighed in the Browns' early life before they became the Baltimore Ravens. And yeah, so I just didn't want,
Yeah, for me, it's like the Browns aren't cursed. They're just terrible. Like they're just going to be terrible forever. They make terrible decisions with their players, and they just
They should line up with the Jets organization, and maybe they can start making a little, like, slightly better. Just slightly, not a lot.
Oh, I think it'd be great.
Yeah, maybe the Browns should use Madden.
Yeah. They'll do that next.
Well, what the Bleacher Report had for the worst team was the Houston Texans, and they had it based off of stats and all that, because Houston Texans were developed in 2002. So that's
not fair. They're the new team. They drafted David Carr, and he didn't have an offensive line to protect him, and he got destroyed. It destroyed his confidence. It's a whole thing. I don't buy that though.
No.
Yeah. Well, the Houston Texans at least had Deshaun Watson before he became a pedophile or a predator. Sorry, a predator. He's not a pedophile. Not that I know of. He's definitely a predator. But also they have CJ Stroud. So
yeah, they've drafted
back to back.
And honestly, David Carr should have been good.
David Carr should have been good. Yeah.
I feel bad for him.
Well, let's get into the game part real quick here. 10 questions. We're going to answer all these 10 different games. Whoever makes the most. What?
I gotta pee.
Fine. Go pee. Right out
Do
loud.
the whole thing. Say what you're gonna say.
All right, fine, I will. You'll just be the last color.
Perfect. I'm pink.
All right.
Barnes is pink.
So, for this final segment, it's the Mustard Cat Challenge. We're doing a 10-point possible points that you can get. And we have 10 different games that we all are going to pick. And whoever picks the most games correct, gets the most points, will win. The loser, if it's me, the host, will have to do a unfortunate punishment if the punishment down in the comments is the most liked comment. Otherwise, if there's no punishments or not the most liked comment, or if I don't lose, then I don't have to do the punishment. So, other than that, Ryan, I'll let you pick. Do you want to go with green, pink, or blue?
Blue, please.
Blue, okay. Because it's your favorite color. The pink everyone has been picking over the last few times and has had more wins, but this is the new color. And it's green, just like Ninja Turtles. So I'm going to take the Ninja Turtles.
That's good because Barnes, when he was walking away to pee, said, I want pink.
Oh, perfect. Well, Barnes, you're getting the pink one. So,
Kind of.
let's start off with some Monday night NBA. We got the Atlanta Hawks at the Detroit Pistons. Does anyone want to go first? Does anyone
I'll go
have
first.
You want me to go first? Okay. Off this one, from doing a lot of these picks over the last couple weeks, anytime I see the Detroit Pistons, they really piss me off because every time I pick them, they suck. Every time I don't pick them, they win. And I'm going with Atlanta Hawks. So
Okay. I think you know our picks.
Yeah.
The Hawks are on an 8-game losing streak. I'm going with the Pistons.
Oh, is that you too? Barnes?
Yeah, I'm going with Pistons. That was a pretty easy pick. They're at home. I know it's a back-to-back, but I mean the Hawks are just terrible.
Hey, I guess we'll see. Houston Rockets at the New York Knicks.
It's a tough one.
You got any? Why don't you go, Barnes?
Yeah, I mean the Knicks lost tonight, so I might switch my pick right now.
All right.
Actually, I know technically in our 30 game thing, I took the Knicks.
Well, yeah, you can
But
switch. You can hedge your bet.
I am switching to the Houston Rockets.
Oh, okay.
So
And I'm sticking with the Knicks.
The
yeah.
Knicks, okay. Okay, right. Um, I've been sticking with the Houston Rockets. They screwed me over earlier. And I'm sticking with the Houston Rockets. So
They're a good team.
yeah.
So and if LA can beat the Knicks when the Knicks are home, the Rockets can. So
That's fair.
Sacramento Kings at the Minnesota Timberwolves. Right?
Yeah, I was pretty confident in this pick before tonight. The Wolves were 11.5-point favorites tonight against the Wizards, and they lost.
Uh-huh.
Anthony Edwards didn't play though, so I'm gonna hope he plays, and I'm gonna pick the Wolves.
The Wolves? Okay. Michael, do you want me to go first? Or
Yeah.
second? Only a second.
Yeah.
I'm going to pick the Timberwolves because I'm not afraid. I think the Timberwolves are good. I think they'll win. I don't even think it matters if Anthony plays or not. So, to be honest with you, because the Sacramento Kings are subpar at best, and they're just gonna lay down like a lay down Larry.
All right. Well, I'm gonna do another. Well, actually, never mind. No, I'm going with the Kings. I always were going with the Kings. I never had the Timberwolves down at all.
He totally just switched his pick.
Well, he doesn't know that because it's not in the top 30. It's not in the 30 pick. So you don't know who I picked. You don't know. You don't know. So I'm going with the Kings.
All right, fine. I got you locked in.
Yeah.
Last Monday night NBA game is the Milwaukee Bucks at the Oklahoma City Thunder. And and if you want me to pick the team, this is my thought process.
All right.
The Thunder has been the big dog, big daddy. Basically been stomping all over everyone for the most part. Probably should go with them. They're at home. But, you got the little Bucks, coming into town. Maybe they're going to win it. Maybe they're not. Maybe they might steal a victory. But, you know what's actually going to happen? Is the Thunder's going to come out there and have an awesome first half. And you know what's going to happen? The Bucks are going to come back and win by 2. So I'm taking the Bucks.
I'm on a roller coaster. Woo!
Man, how much do I have to pay you for that?
Give me the Thunder for all the reasons you said, but the opposite.
Okay.
Thunder as well. I mean, that one was pretty easy.
Hey, I'm gonna just ride the home.
They could lose, but no.
I'm gonna ride the home teams. Home teams. You guys are riding home teams.
What are you talking about? I just took the Rockets and Kings that are away.
Yeah, I'm riding the home teams.
Yeah,
Ryan's riding the home teams.
Are you putting my picks down correctly?
You're the red one, right?
Chiefs all the way, baby.
All right. On to Thursday. Thursday night NHL, we got the Florida Panthers at the Washington Capitals. And I'm truly want to take the Washington Capitals because they're damn good, but the Panthers aren't a bad team. So, and I hate the name Florida Panthers because it sounds like it's hot and sweaty, and then you got this big blanket of a cat on you. Sounds like it's hot and sweaty, so I'm going to take the Florida Panthers.
Wait, you're taking the Panthers?
Yeah.
I thought you hated them.
Yeah.
I do, but it just seems like an oxymoron because you got this hot, blanket of Panthers, and then it's hot and sweaty down there in Florida. So.
I thought that's why you were picking against them, but that's okay. I'm taking the Capitals.
Are you just riding the home teams the whole way down, Ryan?
I'll ride what I want to ride, all right?
Do you want me to just put it all the way down home team?
No. Because there's a specific NHL team that's at home that I will never pick.
I think we all know who that is.
No, I don't.
All you need to know is how to read, and you will know what it is. I went with what?
I'm a picture guy.
Yeah. Well, there is a picture too under the name. If you're a picture guy. I also went with the Capitals. There's already a team named the Panthers. That's the Carolina Panthers. So Florida, come on, do better.
All right. Well, speaking about Carolina Panthers, we got the Carolina Hurricanes at the Winnipeg Jets.
I'm taking Carolina.
Yeah, and I'm taking the Jets all day.
Oh, nice. So.
Put me down for that too.
Yeah, same. Jets.
Hey guys, don't worry. Ryan's riding the home team again.
Well, we already knew that.
Hey, let me pick first on the next one.
Okay, fine. Are you picking the home team?
About the home team?
We got the Colorado Avalanche at the Vancouver Canucks, which I will say I truly do like their logo. It looks like a child drew it, but it looks like a child drew it that can draw better than I can. And I draw like a child, but it looks good. I like it. I like the Canucks. It's in a C. I don't even know what a Canuck is. I think it's a bird, maybe. I'm not even 100% sure, but I like it.
Yeah, I'm picking the Avalanche just to suck up to Monkey Cat Sports.
What the Sam and Gary?
Yeah.
I think Ryan looked at my pick.
Shout out Sam and Gary. Road team for the win, baby.
I think Ryan looked at my pick. He was going all home teams.
Oh,
okay. And you picked the what? Yeah, that's right. I just thought you were definitely. Oh, I knew about that one.
Hey, Michael, stop looking at his picks.
Well, now I am.
Classic Barnes, huh?
We actually might have to.
2 in a row.
We might, if you win this week, we might have to call it null and void because you've probably been, cheating.
My computer.
Yeah. We're gonna have
I'm
to.
in IT, bro.
Yikes.
All right, put me down for Avalanche.
Of course. Let's ride the Avalanche train, guys.
Why would I switch my pick?
Well,
Canucks.
I'm going with the Canucks because the Avalanche
inconsistent.
are the most. You don't know what
Canucks are like exact
No.
same.
It's a 50-50.
Yeah, but the Canucks are at home. The Canucks are at home, and the only thing the Avalanche can do is score. They're terrible on defense. So
Yeah. You're picking the home team.
sorry.
Okay. All right. What's your next pick? Are you picking the home team again?
Well, the next one is the Montreal Canadiens at the San Jose Sharks, and I can't go against the Sharks.
Oh, you're
So
picking the home team.
I'm taking the home team.
And I can't pick the Sharks, so I'm going Canadians.
Yeah. I mean, don't you know, I'm part Canadian, so I'm going Canadian.
Well, it's probably a bad pick on my half to go with the Sharks since they just got rid of CC and Granlund, which were two really good players on their team, but they got two really good potential picks for next year. But they're at home. They're against the Canadians. Fuck 'em.
Yeah, you took more home teams than I did.
What does that have to do with it? Why don't you talk to Ryan? That guy's sitting next to you.
You betcha. Yeah.
Yeah, you betcha, eh? All right.
A lot of
Last,
people are picking the home teams. A lot of people.
it would have. It would have been a big.
Huge.
Huge. Sorry. Um, Tuesday NBA. We got two games, and I really like these games. I do. I like both of them.
Home teams.
Ugh. Boston Celtics at the Cleveland Cavaliers. Michael, should I just put you down for the home team right away?
You betcha.
I'm only picking the home team here because I looked at the previous matchups and both the home teams won. So give me the Cavs.
Okay. Well, I'm taking the Boston Celtics only because of two reasons. One, you guys stacked on them, and two, the Cleveland Cavaliers are usually pretty good, but I don't know. Anytime I try and ride their hobby horse, they screw me over. So I'm getting off that hobby horse.
Yeah.
Last one, LA Lakers at the LA Clippers.
It's not a road game. They share a stadium.
Oh,
They're not at anybody.
sorry. And the LA Lakers versus the LA Clippers. Is that better? Does that help you out?
Yeah, well, we know Barnes is taking the Clippers because they're the home team.
Exactly.
I'm going the opposite. Give me the road team.
Yeah,
Oh.
he's gonna lose for the second time.
Okay.
Taking the Lakers, Clippers.
I'm taking the Clippers not because of the home team, but because the Lakers have been pissing me off, and I've been just going against the grain. You know.
Well, they just won tonight, so that means they're definitely gonna lose.
They've been
on
hot.
Tuesday.
They've been hot.
They
All
just lost the other day. What?
They're hot.
A different team.
This will be the tiebreaker if there is something that happens like this. You got to choose which person will win the Super Bowl and what the score is. So think about it. I'm writing mine down right meow. I'm gonna go.
Are you going to keep the same pick as you had with Ben?
Nope. Going completely different. This is a weird one too.
You've already been.
Perfect. I got mine down.
And Ryan might have cheated.
What did you look at your paper?
I didn't look at shit. All right.
You guys want me to go
ahead.
first?
Yep.
Okay. Well, I'm going with the Eagles, even though the Chiefs probably will win. But I'm going with the Eagles. And I'm saying the Eagles win 28-21.
Okay. All
Right?
right. I'll go before Barnes since he thinks I copied him. Chiefs 23-20.
23-20.
He
Oh,
didn't copy me. That's good.
Barnes?
34-31. The Chiefs.
The fact that he thinks the Chiefs can score 34 points is hilarious.
They just scored.
Yeah.
They just scored over 30 for the
On
first time all
Bills.
year.
Yeah.
The
Yeah,
Eagles defense is better than the Bills. Okay.
Yeah.
barely.
I will bet you $10 the Chiefs don't score 30 points in the Super Bowl.
Ooh.
Oh, wow.
Right here.
Bet.
Right here.
You gonna shake on that?
Yeah.
That's on camera.
Swear to God, if they score 29, I'm gonna be so fucking pissed.
or 28, or
Yeah.
what about this? What about this scenario, Michael? Somehow they get ahead by a point because they get some extra points. They score, they get 28 points, and then they're going to go for 2 because they need to. They miss the 2 and they end up with 28. Yikes.
Well, it's only $10, right? So it's going towards this kid's college fund.
Mustard Cat's first live bet ever.
That is. It's the first live bet.
You heard it here first.
Well,
sponsored by Flow.
Yeah, sponsored. I'm not going to pull it out because I don't feel like.
How's your week going? Is it a little heavy? Light it up with Flow.
Jesus.
Yikes. And we're back. You heard it here, folks. Go buy Flow. Well, thanks, guys. It's been a long podcast. It truly has. But it's been fun. It's been fun.
I didn't go bad.
I know.
Been a good one.
Barnes has had 2 P's this whole time. So, other than that, do you guys have anything else you want to say before I close this bad boy out?
Lucas had 1 P for sharing people's P's.
I had 1 P as well.
Yeah, right. I had 1.
So, yeah, thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks.
Can't wait to do it again. Love you, Lucas.
Yeah.
Hey, we'll have you boys back on again. We'll have you guys back on again, and maybe we'll get Ben on. I told Ben that all 4 of us need to get on.
That'd be fun.
Yeah,
that'd be fun.
And I can't wait to see a 3-peat for me this week, and then next week I'll see a 3-peat with the Chiefs. This is going to be amazing. I just want to thank all my family and friends that believed in me for getting this far. So thank you, Lucas, for having this platform where I can thank people I appreciate in life and for this.
Well, you heard it here, folks. Michael's insane, and he's just talking nonsense. And please go follow everything Mustard Cats, all of our social medias, and follow and subscribe on YouTube. And we do have a website. You can always check that out, www.mustardcats.com. Other than that, we're out. We'll see you next week after the Super Bowl. Me later.
Peace.